Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's up, guys? Listen, let's get right into this. Puffy, listen, y'all see me? You see the hair? I woke up for this. Y'all, the news articles missed the worst parts. Let me hook up my microphone, give y'all some good volume. Okay, y'all, the news article missed some of the best parts of what was in this. And by best, I mean the worst. I think it's fair to say if these accusations are true, Puffy is a monster. Let's get a few things on the table. I saw a few things in the internet going around about how Cassie's doing this for a money grab. However, as we'll get into in the documents on page 18, Cassie says the very last time that he graped, right? Speaking in code, that he graped her, the very last time that he graped her, she left soon after. She left the house, the apartment he got her. She left the car. She literally walked away from her whole life with him. Again, we do not know if anybody's doing anything for money, but the fact that Cassie walked away from her whole life, there are also rumors going around that are disputed in these court documents we're going to go over. The rumors are saying that Cassie tried to shake Diddy down for $30 million. The funny thing is, who is saying that? Diddy's lawyer. I want you guys to know that if you read the articles, they leave like 80% of the stuff out. This is sad. On top of that, if you think about it, they said that Cassie tried to shake Diddy down for $30 million. But who said that? Diddy's lawyer. However, Cassie's lawyer in the court documents said that Diddy tried to offer her an 8-figure deal for her not to say anything about this and not to write a book, but not to sue him. Because again, she's been tortured by this. This explains why Cassie's husband, every single time Diddy said something about Cassie, I just thought, honestly, Alex was being jealous. I had no idea that every night you see your woman broken and crying about what that monster did to you. And then you got to come back and like see him on the internet. He made a song about Cassie. We're about to get into the legal documents. I just want to clear up a few things that I saw floating around that off the bat the legal documents tell us aren't true. Diddy said Cassie tried to get a $30 million payday from him. Cassie says, you tried to offer me an 8-figure deal not to press charges. Y'all, this is getting deep. I will say, oddly enough, how's Kanye doing in Saudi Arabia? Because Kanye has been telling us about a lot of people, and he wasn't wrong. Again, this is the age of the Aquarius. If you don't believe in astrology, you better pick up a book because everything is being ripped off and everything is going to be revealed. Again, these documents shock me. I had to redact them a little bit because, I didn't want to get demonetized because there is a bunch of crazy stuff in it. Let's just jump right into it, right? And then I'll take questions in a second. All right. So, the truth is that Cassie was held down. I'm going to get to the good stuff, but let me just get, because the lawyer, before I get into that, y'all, do you know who Cassie's lawyer is? Do y'all know who Cassie's lawyer is? Because before we need to read these documents, you need to know who Cassie's lawyer is. Cassie is not coming to play. This is not going away. Cassie did not get a rinky-dink lawyer. Cassie got the lawyer that took down the most powerful man in Hollywood. Cassie's lawyer is the same lawyer, drum roll please. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? I feel like I'm Will Smith in Summertime. Drum roll please. Cassie's lawyer is, and I quote, where you at? Her lawyer is the same lawyer, Douglas Wigdor. He's helped many other clients be sued for Sabab, right? We're speaking in Sabab, we'll speak in code, right? Including Dominic Strauss. Does that name ring a bell? Dominic Strauss-Kahn. He's also represented some, if not all, of Harvey Weinstein's victims. Cassie's lawyer is the man that took down Harvey Weinstein, who was the most powerful man in Hollywood and way more powerful than Diddy. And that's who Cassie has representing her. Tell me she don't got an ironclad case. Now, nothing is for certain. This is all alleged. But tell me, Cassie, didn't come to play. You have the person that that took down Harvey Weinstein, y'all. She is not. He even sued. He also represented Dominic Strauss-Kahn. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. He did not come to play. This is serious business. And it makes me wonder, right? Remember when Diddy acted like he was doing the Lord's work, giving back all the artists' royalties in Bad Boy? And everybody said he was making an offering or was something weird going on. And one interesting thing, I think I made a video about this when I was like, but why is he asking them to sign NDAs to get their publishing rights back? He knew this was coming. He has been trying to buy, according to Cassie's team, okay? He has been trying to buy off Cassie to buy her silence. Unfortunately for Puffy, even with the NDAs, and this is for anybody with law, let me just say this, NDAs 100% work. However, you cannot make somebody sign away a right to bodily harm. So if I say, yeah, you can saw me in half. No, for real. If you saw me in half and I'm laying on the sidewalk, you can't come and be like, but I have this document. Tisa said I could fall her in half. No. That's not what happens. Because you cannot, just like you cannot sign away something saying, yes, I will be your slave. It's illegal. You cannot sign away rights for anything illegal. Say I hired you to, delete someone and I pay you $5 million. And then I wake up and I'm like, yo, why ain't my ex-boyfriend deleted, right? In a perfect world, right? And I'm like, yo, why isn't my ex-boyfriend deleted? And you're just like, because I'm not doing it. And I'm like, all right. And I take you to court saying you stole $5 million from me. It was a breach of contract. You said you would delete them. You didn't. I want my money back. That's called soiled hands. You have to come to the court of law with clean hands. That means that you cannot come to the court of law and sue somebody over an illegal transaction. That's why when narcotic deals go bad, if something illegal goes bad, they usually hand it on the street, because there is no way you can come to court and say, listen, we were engaged in illegal activities, but they screwed me over. Again, you must come to the court with clean hands, meaning whatever you're suing for must be a legal thing. Sorry, my cowlick is like really bothering me. Okay, so listen, let's get into this. Dominic Strauss-Kahn, if you don't know who that is, right? Because I know what y'all said. Is that a woman? He represented Dominic Strauss-Kahn, but that's not a woman. Does anybody know who it is? Anybody in the chat? Come on. Anybody? Who said that? Legend Bless said whatever she accused him of doing, he did it. That's how I feel, right? But listen, Dominic Strauss-Kahn, I just want to give you guys a glimpse of what Puffy is against. She didn't get a bubblegum lawyer. She didn't even get somebody that's from a law firm. She got somebody that represents titans and takes down titans. One of her lawyer's biggest clients was Dominic Strauss-Kahn. That is the former Minister of the Economy of Finance and Recovery of France. Okay? He's also known as DSK. He's a French economics and politician who served as the 10th managing director of the International Monetary Fund. Tell me Diddy don't got a problem. This man represented the managing director of the International Monetary Fund. He is one of the most prominent people of the French Socialist Party. If you guys don't remember what happened, he was staying at, I think, the Langdon or some big hotel in New York City. Ritz, Langdon, maybe it was the Plaza, right? It was one of those hotels in New York City that cost like, a suite. It's like $5,000 a night. A maid went in there and said that he raped her, right? Like, can we call him Jolly Rancher? He Jolly Ranchered her. I don't want to get demonetized. At that time, there was so much international espionage going on. A lot of his political opponents said that he was set up, that they were trying to dethrone him because at one point he was set to take the lead in the French Nationalist Party. Anyway, some people said it was a setup. Some people didn't. The point is the fact that your lawyer who's representing you is the same lawyer that represented the head of the International Monetary Foundation, the same lawyer that took down Harvey Weinstein, that represented his victims and got him buku money. Y'all can say Cassie's doing this because she's broke. Y'all can say Cassie does, but my whole thing is, just because you're paranoid don't mean that they're out to get you, right? Just like she could be doing it for all, I don't think she is. Let me just be clear about that. She could be doing it for all those reasons, but at the end of the day, Puffy, did you do it? Did you do it? I do not think that Counselor Douglas would take on a case if there was even an inch of wiggle room. Do you know how many people have been trying to take a bite at the Puffy apple, bobbing for apples? Do you know how many people have been trying to, and no one's come even close? For them to come out swinging so hard, baby, if Puffy didn't do this stuff, he better get on his knees and pray. But the thing is, there's so much detail in this complaint, which I'm about to get into. There's so much detail in this complaint. There is, if Cassie made this up, she needs to get a job being a writer. She needs to start writing screenplays. We need her in Hollywood now, because ain't no way. Ain't no way. I also do want to say this before I get into the document, right? And I'll summarize this in a different video for y'all that don't want to hear me. Yep, right? Also, hit that like button, y'all. You know I will follow a story to the end of hell. And we're about to get into this legal analysis, but hit the like button. And y'all know I like to make it juicy and dramatic because, baby, if I want to hear a monotone voice read something, I will just read it myself, right? I want somebody to bring it to life for me. Okay, so listen. Here's the thing, and this is just my speculation. So in the court document, I think it's page 18, we'll get to that. Cassie says that he Jolly Ranchered her, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, hit rewind. Cassie says that he Jolly Ranchered her, okay? And then after he Jolly Ranchered her, that's when it was a canon moment, okay? A canon moment. Everything came around full circle. She couldn't do it anymore. She walked away from the houses, the cars, the jewels, everything that he gave her, both monetary and also material, she walked away. It was a canon moment for her, okay? That was in, let's get the dates right, because this is very important. I know we're getting to the document, but you guys, this is important. Just let me say this, all right? So where are we at? Okay, here we are. So anyway, she walked away in September of 2018. And it says it right here in September 2018, she joined Mr. Combs for a dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, California. Ooh, do you think that's Baldi's? What's the thing? The one that Rihanna's always going to, Giorgio Baldi's or whatever. There's one in New York, right? The food is actually so-so. That's what I'm wondering why people actually go and eat there so much. Because honestly, maybe I just have working class sensibilities, but Olive Garden's Olive Garden hits the spot, and Giorgio Baldi is not that much better than Olive Garden, and some of the stuff is just like whatever. But anyway, right? She joined him for what she believed would be a discussion about concluding the relationship for good. So this was be a breakup, okay? After dinner, Puff and Cassie returned to Cassie's home, which was paid for by Puff. Puff forced himself into Cassie's apartment and tried to kiss her, okay? She told him to stop and attempted repeatedly to push him away. He forcibly ripped off her clothing, unbuckled. He proceeded to Jolly Rancher her while she repeatedly said no and was trying to push him away. But get this, soon after, Cassie took steps to completely separate herself from her longtime abuser, including by leaving the home that he had paid for and returning the car he purchased for her. She left everything. Despite moving away, Mrs. Ventura's address was posted online in early 2019, leading to fears of her safety. Hold on, I'm getting to the point. Cassie was under immense duress during the months after Puffy Jolly Ranchered her, took all steps possible to entirely remove herself from her ambit, including by entering into contracts to end her record deal with Bad Boy Entertainment. So when I say Cassie walked away, she had a canon moment. Now, get this. This makes me wonder. This part is my speculation. This makes me wonder about what Kim Porter knew. Yes, I'm going there. This incident happened in September 2018. Kim passed away November 2018. What's more, Kim Porter was out celebrating Halloween, looking beautiful, looking fine. Okay? Halloween 2018. A few weeks later, she was gone. Nobody knew she was sick. Even her doctors were like, what? What are you talking? How did this happen? Even her doctors were confused. Puffy then went on this whole, y'all remember, campaign, making songs about Kim Porter, saying you were my one love. Some of us, and this includes me, not that I thought that he had anything to do with it, but I remember looking, because anytime somebody is like, when she was alive and begging for your love, you never claimed her. Not really, not in like the circles. He made Jennifer Lopez his girl. He made Jennifer Lopez his girl. He made Cassie, you know, his girl. To me, he never flaunted Kim Porter like that. And I always had issues with that because y'all know why I think he did that. I think y'all can guess. And if you can't, whatever, right? So anyway, so he did all that mess. And y'all remember when he was like, oh, Kim, and making songs about her and doing this and doing that and going on this whole thing. And everybody was like, yeah, black love, black love. And I'm like, how is this a representation of black love? When she was around, you literally kept her as your bottom B. She was your breeder, but that's it. She wasn't good enough. She in the background, but she wasn't good enough to be this. She wasn't good enough to be that, right? Okay, so that happened. All right, so that happened. One second. Sorry. So anyway, so that happened. Hey, Rim, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys also hit this like button. Come on, mama got bills to pay. And plus, it'll help, honestly, all jokes aside, this stream reach more people. So if you could share the stream or at least just hit the like button, I would really, really appreciate that. Okay, so he was going on all that stuff. Why is that important? Because who else did he try to do that to? Who else? Who else? Raise your hand if you know the answer. Cassie. Remember when Alex cursed Puffy out and said, you always worried about a man and all this other stuff? When he tried to make a song about like, I gotta get her back or whatever that song was called. I haven't listened to Puffy's music in a long time. But remember he tried to Kim Porter Cassie in the way of capitalizing how heartbroken he was over actually losing her. And now we find out all this stuff. Now we find out that, okay, I'm getting into a legal document, but now we find out that this man was literally forcing her to look for, through blank worker catalogs, to look for men, I'm pointing to colors, right? To look for black men with big, right? So that he could watch, do things to himself for. I'm trying to get out of demonetization, but Puffy's so nasty. Like, if these are true, it's so nasty. I don't know how to do it. He would force her to don on mask like it was eyes wide shut and get trains run on her while he watched. And Cassie said that she tried to disassociate with like illicit substances. But get this. One time she almost OD'd on them. And get this. Cassie had a candid moment. She's like, no more, right? No more. And then she deleted everything because he led her to believe that that's another thing. He called them freak parties. Freakum events. We've heard about these, right? That's what he called freak shows. That's what he called them. He called them freak shows, right? So then he led her to believe that all the freak shows were only on her phone. Until one day she was like, I can't do this anymore, right? Because she was numbing herself from the world. She literally got hooked on illicit narcotics to numb herself. And before you try to judge, she tried to escape a lot of times. Everybody in the industry, everybody in her life was controlled by Puffy. And even when you hear about what he hid from what the doctors did to Cassie and all this stuff. It makes me wonder how many people in the doctors and the hospitals, how many people were on his payroll. He is a billionaire. So anyway, Cassie deleted all that. She deleted everything from the freak shows on her phone because she's like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't. It was a canon moment. This girl, I'm surprised she is still sane. It was a canon moment, right? And get this, Puffy, literally, they were on a plane somewhere. And she was like, I'm done with that. I deleted all that. And he sat there while they were on the plane and made her watch a video of her being degraded, high out of her head, being degraded, a train run on her by multiple. He liked black men with big workers, being a train being ran over on her. And he made her watch that. Okay, y'all got that? That's the tip of the iceberg. Now let's get into like the real mess because baby, woo. Hey, Helen Sagal, thank you so much. Sagili, am I pronouncing your name right? Thank you so much, Helene. I appreciate the super chat. Also, Tina Marie, thank you so much for the super chat. And Rem, thank you for the super chat. All right, let's get into this, right? One second. Somebody's sending me more information. One second. Okay, sorry guys. All right, so let's get into this mess. Puffy, you know, I'm getting into it, but I can talk while I'm reading it. Okay, I already hear y'all being like, just get to the document. Y'all be so impatient. Listen, I will say this though. I've always heard stories about Hollywood. I've heard this, I heard that. I'll say one thing. I pray that Carisha's okay. I really do. I pray she's okay. I pray her family's okay. And I just pray. I pray for any woman. And you know what the funny thing is? If Tasha K wasn't so in trouble, right? Thank you so much, Cliff Square, for the super chat. If Tasha K wasn't in so much trouble, where is she? Where is she? Because if she should get, what's that one girl? You know that one girl that was bragging of what, taunting Carisha, saying like, Jenny, I forget her name. The Asian girl that was not the one that Puffy got a baby by, right? Well, she should have known something was up. You dating Carisha and you have a baby and then you fly Carisha out to an island, but that's what Cassie said. He breaks you down to the white meat and then he flies you out. But here's the thing, you know that one Asian girl that Tasha K had on her show that was saying all this stuff? And I looked at her as she was a bird because I'm like, can you explain to me why you dating a billionaire and you still got carpet on your floor? And it's not like that luxurious, like, what is it, $300 a square foot carpet, right? That new stuff that they have. No. You got the carpet from like 1991 when like Baby Boy was still in the theaters. You know what I'm saying? And she was like doing all this stuff and like dancing. And I'm like, what is going on? That like, and I thought she was crazy because I was like, you can't be dating a billionaire and like live like that. Talking about, I'm not going to use him for his money. Girl, you dating a billionaire. It was just weird. You got dirty carpet on your floor. But yeah, where's Tasha K? How come that girl, she's probably reaching out to that girl trying to get her back on the show. But I think Puffy might have paid that girl off. Okay, let's get into this, right? All right, I'm going to start from the beginning. We're going to go slow, grab some popcorn. I'll be checking the comments. Hit that like button. Share this if you can. Please support me. You guys know I'm a small YouTuber trying to do my thing. I've been on here I know y'all don't care. Fine, I'll get to work. All right, so they said in 2022, Puffy received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. You think he's going to have to give that back? During his acceptance speech, Puffy stated, I have to give a special shout out, thank you, love to the people that were really there for me. He named a number of people before adding, and also Cassie for holding me down in dark times, love. Again, it makes me wonder what happened to Kim Porter because he tried to do the same thing to Cassie, making him seem like he's a heartbroken lover. Anyway, they said the truth, however, is that Cassie was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. For Cassie, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Puffy in a cycle of AB, violence. Oh my God. And oh God, how do I say it? Trafficking. The traffic stops. That's code for X, right? Okay, we trying to we trying to say monetized. That's another reason why I'm not going to really scroll through this, because there's so many things on the screen that like kids can't read that. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna have to listen to this like a bedtime story. I'm sorry. Okay, so listen, let's get back into this. He said that he traffic stopped her, traffic lighted her, right? He raped Cassie in her own home after she tried to leave. Okay. Often pie kicked. Oh my God, he was doing too much. He often punched, beat, kicked, or stomped. Okay. On her, resulting in bruises, burst lips. Wow, black eyes and bleeding. Get this. He blew up Kid Cudi's car after he learned that Cudi was with Cassie. And get this, Cudi, and this is the one time, because Cudi is the messiest person, right? But this is the one time where his messiness worked for good. Cudi came out and confirmed everything that Cassie said. All right. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I know y'all like, oh, we read this in an article. The article don't got nothing on this. Okay. He forced Cassie to engage in blank acts with male blank workers while tending to himself and filming the encounters. He ran out of his apartment with a bang bang in pursuit of a rival industry executive who he learned was nearby. Is he talking about Ryan Leslie? I'm just saying. Listen. I never thought that all those rumors were true. That's why now on everything that I ever heard about Puffy, I'm like, what y'all think? Let's take a poll at the end of this stuff. Let me get back. Oh, Rem, thank you so much for another super chat. I appreciate that so much. He demanded Cassie carry his firearm in his purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is. However, who else? Who else called a case like that? Who else called a case like that? J-Lo. Y'all might not remember, but one of the reasons J-Lo and Puffy broke up is because J-Lo, I believe she called a case or they were pulled over. And I think it was found on her possession. And everybody thought that she was just being like a ride or die. You know, that spawned the whole thing about like, yeah, I'm a ride or die. And my man passed me the thing. I'm going to hold it, right? I don't believe in being ride or die because I ain't take it. Go on with someone that's taking me off this earth. The only person that I know that can do that is our Lord and Savior. I'm not. No, ain't no person with blood like mine riding me off the earth. But literally, think about it, y'all. Remember when J-Lo, and that spawned that whole who's a ride or die. I need a girl that will ride. Remember all that? And who would have known that from him putting all those songs out, what was going on with psychological abuse? Not only was he doing, I don't know if he was doing that to J-Lo, definitely doing it to Cassie. Sounds like what he was doing to J-Lo. This means that this man and people emulating behavior that was made like aspirational might have screwed up a whole. What was going on in Bad Boy? Because remember, Biggie was known to, he was known. That's part of the reason Little Kim's face looks like the way it did. He mentally and physically abused her, called her ugly every day of her life. And when you see old school pictures of Little Kim, she was a Barbie. She was a doll. She was a doll. She was a doll. And the fact that he had her thinking that she was so ugly, she had to cut her face up to look like one of the pharaohs that's on the esophagus or whatever, sarcophagus, whatever. Anyway, let me get back to the point. Okay. He introduced Cassie to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and too much substances, and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. Oh my God, she's saying Puffy's on that stuff. Okay, let's go. So let's just speed through the stuff to get to the juice. So Cassie met Puffy in 2005. She was 19 years old and he was 37 years old. He signed her to his label. Oh my God, he was almost double her age. Within a few years, he lured Cassie into an ostensious, fast-paced illicit substance-fueled lifestyle and into a romantic relationship with him, her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man, nearly 2 decades her senior. You know, I do want to say one thing. Everybody was bigging up Jeezy for having a conversation, open up a conversation between men and women, black men, black women. Where's all the men now? Where is there? And I don't just mean black men. I mean all the men in the record industry. It makes me wonder how they always seem to rally around abusers. And now I think we know why, right? Oh, thank you. Gatherings with Felicia said, good vibrations, Tisa. You're on it. So proud of your tenacity. Thank you so much, Felicia. I really, really do appreciate that so much. So, okay. And also, Ross 7 Golly said, hi, Tisa Tells, new sub here. Thanks for covering this. Let me go back. I missed a few super chats. Thank you so much, Ross 7 Golly. New subby, thank you for subbing. And thank you for appreciating my coverage. And did I miss anybody else? No? Okay, fine. Let's get back to work. All right. So, no men in the entertainment industry are talking about this. And they always rally around abusers. It makes me think, are monsters attracted to that? Kind of like the way Pedialyte bears are attracted to being like preschool teachers and gym teachers, because you work around, like, you know, your target audience. It makes me wonder, are you drawn to the entertainment industry, or is the entertainment industry, specifically the music industry, filled with so many demons? I'm serious, that for you to advance, you got to be with the ish and giggles. You know what I'm saying? You know how, like, to be like blood or crip, you got to get jumped in, or you got to do something, get a tear. You know, I don't know. I read, y'all know I watch Colors. I don't really know that much about it, but so I'm not trying to be funny, but y'all get my point, right? You know, you got to do something to prove that you're down for the cause before they even let you in. It makes me think that when you're in the entertainment industry, I know you'll always be in the comments on some Illuminati ritual, whatnot. But after reading this, I'm like, wait a second. Maybe I should have been like screenshotting some of these comments, because y'all might have been closer than. Anyway, they're saying he asserted complete control over Cassie's personal, professional life, thereby ensuring her inability to escape his hold. He provided unprecedented avenues for success for the aspiring artist, but in return deemed obedience, loyalty, and silence. I'm just getting to the dry part. Then we're going to get into the actual stuff. Throughout the relationship, Diddy was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently, oh my God, blank Cassie savagely. Oh my gosh, hold on. The beatings were witnessed by Puffy's staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment and Puffy's related businesses, but no one dared to speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss. He literally was stomping her out in front of business associates, in front of everybody. Y'all, following an episode of a particularly horrific episode, Puffy, and that's where he got his nickname Puffy, because he always was known to have like an anger problem, so he puffed up, right? So we'll call him Diddy, would immediately attempt to hide Cassie and the evidence of his violent rage. He often showered her with gifts following incidents of physical violence, a typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. In addition to the physical assaults, Diddy frequently reminded Cassie of his ability to cause serious harm, whether by requiring her to carry his bang bang in her purse or by blowing up a car of a musician that was romantically interested in Miss Ventura. We now know that is Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi has gone on record as saying this. Adding insult to injury, he used illegal substances and threats of violence to force Cassie into repeated, unwanted sexual encounters with male blank workers. Over the years, Diddy abused Cassie physically and, intimately. She again and again tried to escape his tight hold over her life. Every time she hid, Puffy's vast network of corporations and affiliate entities found her. Those who worked for Puffy's companies implored her to return to him. Many went as far as to explicitly state that her failure to return to Diddy would hinder her success in the entertainment industry. Y'all, what is that? What is that movie? Was it Jennifer Lopez or Julia Roberts that starred in that movie about the woman that faked her, that was married to this billionaire? This is like Pretty Little Lies. Pretty Little Lies, but also that movie where they were married to like this billionaire person that controlled everything. So they literally had to fake their own death and jump off a boat and cut their hair and all the other stuff. Do you guys remember that movie? This is what this movie sounds like. Was this movie made before or after Jennifer Lopez broke up with, was it called Enough? Was that made before or after J-Lo broke up with Diddy? What if it was made after she broke up with him? Somebody, all right, I'll get to, can somebody Google that? Or can I Google it? Okay. When she believed that she had finally separated from her longtime abuser, she joined Diddy for a dinner, after which he forced her into her home and blanked her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Cassie has now fully escaped Diddy, but the harm that the assault and the abuse has caused her to experience for nearly a decade will forever haunt her. This is on some Tina Turner Eat the Cake anime. She has required extensive medical and psychological care to recover from the trauma she lived through. And he was taunting her online with her husband. She cannot, however, continue to live in silence about what she endured. Mr. Combs remains immensely powerful and immensely dangerous. Cassie fears for her life. Cassie therefore seeks justice for the decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her with threats of violence, excessive use of illicit substances, physical and psychological abuse, and of course, blank slavery. So here's the thing, and I want everybody to listen to this, and even if you don't care, share it with everybody you know, because you never know who's suffering. Do you know another reason why Cassie is bringing this lawsuit up? I'll tell you, because New York State so this type of stuff usually happens in federal court, but it doesn't matter. New York State just passed a law that for anything dealing with DV, sexual harassment, abuse, anything along those things, there used to be a statute of limitations that you had to bring it up, I think 3 to 7 years, most likely 7 years, right? You had to bring up the statute of limitations. So if somebody did something to you while you were in college, right? And now you're 50. You could know, because you're like, oh, the statute of limitations is over. They removed the statute of limitations. That's why Cassie is bringing this, because any other time she would be outside of statute of limitations. But thanks to the lawmakers of New York, she could actually come and hold Puffy accountable. And you know what the funny thing is? I think Cassie's been waiting for this, and I think she regrets not actually taking further action, because that law, the legislation just passed this in New York, I think a couple of weeks ago. So the fact that this just passed, and she already came with the lawyer that got justice for the Harvey Weinstein victims, with the lawyer that represented the president, the director of the International Monetary Fund, and at one point was scheduled to be the next political leader of the French Nationalist Party. And you know what that means? He would have moved on to he might have been the president of France even and pushed Macron out the way. I remember this. This was a big, big, big international scandal. And he swore that his enemies were trying to take him down. Anyway, I mean, he might have been right, but nobody told you to go home. But he actually even said the maid was planted. And they had bribed the maid to do all the stuff, but who knows? Anyway, right? Let's see. The parties. Oh, the parties. She's suing Puffy, right? She's suing Bad Boy Entertainment, Music Media Entertainment Company. She's also suing Bad Boy Records. She's also suing Bad Boy Records LLC. She's also suing Epic Records. She's also suing, and Epic Records is a label owned by Sony Music Entertainment. She is alleging that there were Sony Entertainment music people in the room when she was getting I'm not trying to be funny. It's like whatever, right? Anyway, what else? So they're doing Epic Records, Sony Corporation of America. They're also suing Combs Enterprises LLC. They're also defended though corporations 1 to 10 or corporations and entities affiliated and associated with Sean Combs. So she is literally suing every single person and entity that Sean Combs either owns, is a part of, or has had business dealings with. This, Puff should be worried. I thought the Tupac stuff, but then nothing came of that. He should be worried. Okay, so here we go. So, so Cassie met Diddy in late 2005, early 2006. He heard Cassie's first single playing in a club and expressed interest in signing her to his label, Bad Boy Records. At that time, Cassie was only 19 years old. Within months, Cassie signed a 10-album deal with Sean. He was always good for predatory deals. 10 albums, but back then we didn't know what we know now. You don't sign 10 albums. Cassie's first album was released in August 2006, and it debuted at number 4 in the U.S. Billboard 200. To promote the album, Cassie made television appearances to MTV's Total Request Live, BT 106 & Park. Cassie suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of Cassie's performances. I remember them dragging her. Diddy, however, sought to rehabilitate the newly signed talent, telling MTV News. You could hear the nervousness in her voice. To be honest, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I really love about her. She's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous, and it was kind of cute to me. To be honest, you got to understand that success for her is coming out of nowhere. It's a huge, and sometimes everybody handles it differently. While clearly paternalistic in noting that it was cute to how regular Cassie was, his comments rang true to some extent. Upon signing with Bad Boy Records, Cassie was quickly thrust into the spotlight and was unfamiliar with how to navigate her new celebrity status. Now, it makes me wonder also, Beyonce had her family, but it also made me wonder, Beyonce had her family, what was Rihanna going to? Because Rihanna was here on her own. I'm not saying Jay-Z did anything like Puffy did, but even after she left Jay-Z's stuff, makes me wonder what was going on. Now I'm looking at everybody like, girl, or boy, what did you go to? What did Little Nas X go through? Like, please. So let me just say thanks to a few people. I got Rem. I got Helen. I got Tina Marie. Rem again. Thank you, Rem. I got Cliff Square. Thank you, Cliffy Square. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm about to get back to business. I just have to say thank you to everybody that even took their time. Rem, thank you again for the super chat. Ross 7, a little behind, but I'll catch up, you guys. 1 second. Gatherings with Felicia. Thank you again. Oh, here we go. So Mr. Shalaki said, just sending love to you. And also random question, do you still do tarot readings? Diddy and somebody, I do tarot readings, but for my friends and family, but I'm going to pull some cards out to see what's going on with Diddy and Cassie. I don't know. We might see Nine of Swords. We might see the Devil card. We might, ooh. Anyway, right? YM Droid said, appreciate your voice on this. Love to Cassie, Kiki, Megan, and all the survivors. See, here's the thing. A lot of us like to pretend that like Diddy, because I know I clown Darius is broke ass, because not because he's broke, because plenty of people are broke. It's because he is an abuser. But it's a certain personality type. Dusty is not an income bracket. Dusty is a state of mind. If these allegations are true, Puffy is dusty. I'm about to get to the deep stuff. If it's not true, then I don't see how they made this up. Trina Love said, thank you for all the passionate and funny news. Oh, thank you. Okay, am I missing anybody? Hold on. Just want to make sure I say hi, Darren. If you guys have any questions, feel free to chat me up. You are the oracle. You always speak truth. Oh, thank you, Master Psychic, Rachel. Let's see. If I ever miss anybody, please. Oh, here we go. Modnate says, F Bad Boy is a staff of record label and I'm the crew. Time to dig up some graves. TikTok, brother, love TikTok. Yo, I wish I could play. Remember, first off, F you click and the click. Wait, first off, F your girl and the clique you claim, what side you claim to be a bet. I hope Carisha is actually safe because it looks like he's doing the same thing he did to Cassie, just love bombing her. I was trying to sing Hit 'Em Up, a beautiful autistic rendition, but yeah. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay. Okay. So Diddy's recognition and glorification of Cassie's naivety proved to set the groundwork for his manipulative and coercive romantic and actual relationship with her, a woman nearly 2 decades his junior. Within a year of signing to Bad Boy Records, Diddy became deeply entrenched in Cassie's life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and her personal life. Now, let's not forget, he had Kim Porter in the background. Let's not forget that. He had Kim Porter in the background while he was doing all this. In November 2006, Diddy invited Cassie to perform his song Come to Me along with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark. After rehearsal for the performance, Diddy walked around in a robe with a drink in his hand, flaunting his lavish party lifestyle to his label's newly signed artists. Tell me that don't sound like Diddy. I can see him walking around just like whatever, right? During hair and makeup leading up to the performance, Cassie's hairstylist and Puffy's makeup artist told Cassie that Diddy was interested in Cassie. Cassie shrugged off the gossip and in fact expressed disgust given the large age gap between her and Diddy. I know, because think about it. When you're 19, right? Thank you so much, Miss Flowers. I appreciate it. I will stay on the case. When you're 19, somebody double your age does seem gross. I don't know why these men think that like when somebody dates you, they either have daddy issues or they're just like they want the money, because it's kind of like, think about when you were 19 and your mom's friends that were 35, right? Like, okay, maybe not your mom's friends, that's too young, but like your auntie's friends that, you know, your youngest auntie, she had friends that would come around and they were like 35. Didn't they look old as dirt to you when you were 19, right? Anyway, let's get into this. Okay, emphasizing the age and power dynamic early in their working relationship, Diddy positioned himself as a father figure and protector of Cassie. By way of example, after returning to New York after a trip to Las Vegas, during which he endured a brief hospital stay, Cassie, who by then was fully healthy, went out to a club with her friends. When Diddy saw her out, he reprimanded her, telling her to go home and take care of herself. At the time, Diddy thought that her record label was looking out for, at the time, Cassie thought that the record label was looking out for her well-being, but Diddy didn't have her best interest in mind. He also ensured he was intertwined with Cassie's personal and social life. For instance, by inviting himself to Cassie's 21st birthday party in Las Vegas, he also brought along famous musicians and producers, thereby flaunting celebrity status and influence in front of a young and impressionable Cassie. Although Diddy knew that Cassie was in a relationship at the time, and I think she was with Ryan Leslie, right? And even though he was publicly in a relationship, publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter, Diddy nevertheless pursued Cassie. At an after party in a hotel suite following Cassie's 21st birthday party, Diddy pulled Cassie into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. Cassie did not consent to this unwanted contact. She was like, ugh. Oh yeah, she's not into necrophilia. What is it? Necromancy, necrophilia, where you like corpse. Anyway, she immediately ran out the bathroom and to the hotel suite and cried. She told her best friend at the time about what happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. At the Video Music Awards the following day, Cassie's boyfriend at the time joined her and Sean at a table at the award ceremony. Diddy became angry, telling Cassie that the invitation to the award ceremony was only for her and not her significant other. Okay, now we're getting into the relationship part. All right, to the relationship part. Despite her clear rejection of Puffy's advances, Puffy continued to demand that Cassie spend time with him, including a weekend at Diddy's residence in Miami and for nights out in New York City. One particular night around September 7th, he always said it was work. One particular night around September 7th, Diddy insisted in taking Cassie out. Cassie finally said, okay, fine, right? Cassie finally said, okay, fine. Oh my God. Okay, now we're getting to this good stuff. She finally said, fine, right? Fearing that if she told him no, there would be swift repercussions to her album deal with Puffy and his company, Bad Boy Records. Puffy picked up Cassie from her apartment in Manhattan in a blue luxury vehicle. It's probably a Rolls Royce or a Maybach. Cassie was surprised that when she got into the car, Puffy was already inebriated. He handed her a pill and told her to take it. Cassie asked, "What is this?" Puffy was like, "Man, come on, just take it. You'll like it." She later learned the pill was ecstasy, something Miss Ventura had never before tried and did not want to try. This was the very first time that he got her high. Puffy then proceeded to drive recklessly at a high speed down the West Side Highway in Manhattan. Cassie was terrified, but she didn't dare say anything to Puffy, who appeared to be drunk, high, and agitated. He took Cassie to an upscale lounge in downtown Manhattan, where he proceeded to get into an altercation with security staff who would not prevent. Oh, they wouldn't let Cassie in because they wouldn't let Puffy in because, one, he was too belligerent. It also might have been the fact that Cassie was only 19 years old. Cassie decided to go home, but for the remainder of the night, Puffy messaged Cassie insistently, complaining that he was left high and alone. Ew, he's like 10 levels of ick. He better be happy he was a millionaire at that point, because he is given the icky. Ew, you made me drunk and high. I'm surprised he didn't say blue. Hold on really quick, y'all. Let me just pick this up. 1 second. I gotta stop my camera. I'm still here. I just dropped the remote to my whatchamacallit. Okay, so hold on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so there's more. And I swear, you guys, we are getting to the good part, but you gotta listen to the lead up, because without the lead up, I'm telling you, it's not gonna make sense. Because the way it starts off like, oh, all right, fine. And then before you know it, it just goes like on a magic carpet ride. And you're to hell. Literally a magic carpet ride to hell. Okay, so we, where did we go with this? 1 second. One more second, y'all. It just goes from like 0 to 100, just like really, really quick. And it's really like, crazy. Okay. All right. So, sorry, I broke my head with napkin. I was trying to play it off, but I guess it was still there. Okay. So anyway, let's go. Okay. In early fall 2007, Diddy flexed his power and influence when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by Cassie. This fake posting allowed Cassie to have an excuse to go to Miami, Florida, and get away from her boyfriend, who I assume is Ryan Leslie, by using the guise of a legitimate event she had to attend. Cassie was stunned at how easily Puffy was able to recruit others to lie for him. So get this. This is when this craziness starts happening, okay? Puffy wanted to get Cassie alone from her boyfriend. Apparently, Cassie was super in love with Ryan, and she was like, ew, this old man giving me the ick, but she wanted her career. Okay, fine. It was motivated. Of course, this is how people get you, right? This is how the devil gets you. But she would never cheat on Ryan. So what did she do, right? Dana Burke said, "This news nearly brought me to tears. Stay strong, sisters." Exactly. I don't know what, you know, the funny thing is, I think it's just the age of Aquarius exposing. It was always there, but everybody. Anyway, he created a fake flyer, rented out a whole club, had all these people lie for him just to get her down to Miami for a job alone so he could take advantage of her. Cassie was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because the request to go to Miami was made by the owner of a record label, and because she was scared to go against his wishes and face repercussions, she said, okay. Now, during the trip to Miami, Puffy provided Cassie with copious amounts of illicit substances. She became more intoxicated than she'd ever been, and her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. As she wanted Puffy to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse Puffy, urging her to take more and more and more. After providing her with illicit substances, he had blank intercourse with her during this trip. Within 2 years of meeting her, Cassie found herself lured into the immediate circle of her boss, the owner of her record label, and one of the most powerful men in entertainment. Okay, so let's see where she exerts it over her personal life. Okay, she said Diddy was aggressive and demanding approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Cassie soon learned that Diddy insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Y'all saw the making of the band. We laughed when he was like, giddy up, and made somebody care. Well, that was Dave Chappelle when he's like, giddy up. But remember when he made them all the way walk for the cheesecake and all the stuff he did? Anyway, okay. Although Cassie had saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Diddy's ostensive display of wealth was intimidating to her. Diddy paid for things with wads of cash and would repeatedly tell Cassie, don't worry about money, I have money. Diddy expensed lavish vacations for him and Cassie, purchased a car for her, paid for her apartment, and provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothes. You know, I remember that because I remember talking to my girlfriend and being like, wow, Cassie's wardrobe is amazing. She used to have everything off the runway. Tom Collins says, do you think he abused women because he was really into men? He blames them for his secrets and took advantage of them to say he's straight. You know what? I was thinking about that. And I know I've often said in the past, like, oh, it's because he doesn't like women. But I know plenty of gay men, right? And just because you're gay doesn't mean you hate women. I would actually go so far to say is people that abuse women are probably also violent to their same-sex lovers too. I would go, because I begin to think you just get, it's like you're just not violent to one person. You're violent to everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think that like when a woman made her mad, he would do all this. And then if his lover, alleged, we don't know, made him mad, he'd be like, oh, pumpkin, so cute. I just think he would literally be like kicking the door and waving that 4-4. But you know what the funny thing is? Remember Biggie? I never was a fan of Biggie, right? He always just gave me bad vibes. I don't care. And I was never into New York party music. I like West Coast stuff more. But remember when even Diddy had that song, kicking the door, waving the 4-4, all you heard was Big Papa, don't hit me no more? And we found out that he was beating down Charlie Baltimore, Little Kim, and Faith Evans. Yo, the 90s was a wild time, right? Anyway, around 2008, 2009, Diddy began to rent an apartment in Manhattan for Cassie. The apartment was in walking distance of Puffy's apartment. He first showed Cassie the apartment by bringing her, he brought her parents along, okay? Her parents were skeptical of the mogul's display of wealth, but proud of their daughter's newfound success. I know that's right. Around 2010, Diddy similarly paid for an apartment for Cassie in Los Angeles, which was located about 5 minutes away from Puffy's residence. He paid for many of her apartments in California and also purchased a Jaguar for her around 2003, 2014. That's interesting that that's the first time he got her a car. But then again, that's a thing of control because back then there was no Uber. So that means that she probably, and you know how it is in California, if you don't have a car, where are you going? And there's not a corner store or a bodega like it is in New York. So that makes me think he actually like had the car. He used that as a form of control. But it gets worse. It gets worse. This is a lead up. All the aspects of Cassie's life were controlled by either Puffy or his management company. Every event Cassie attended, from the travel to the makeup to the clothing, they were all paid for by Puffy. Compounding this all-encompassing intrusion into her life, Puffy secured his control over the young and impressionable Cassie by introducing her to a drug-fueled lifestyle that kept her complacent and compliant. He first introduced Cassie to, he introduced her to opioids in 2008 and would often have pills and other things out in the open like candy. Upon information and belief, Diddy, Cassie is saying, has been addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. I wonder if Cassie's still on that. Okay, now, at first Cassie was given the prescription that Puffy received from a doctor in Miami, Florida. Eventually, when Puffy exhausted his supply of pills, he demanded Cassie go find a way to get a prescription from the Miami doctor in her own name. So he was using her as a mule. How bad was his prescription that he couldn't? Oh, but you know what? Maybe he was trying to get her jammed up. Because here's the thing: we are 4 lines away from the abusive part. Puffy seems like, you know how, like, did anybody watch American Gods? I think it was on Stars or something. Was it Orlando Bloom or Orlando Orange? Whatever his name is, he was amazing in that show. Oh, he was like the African god, and he was like, this cannot be. I was with him, like, yes. But here's the thing. You know, what they do is he obviously had a whole staff of people. So he didn't need, if you think about it, he didn't need Cassie to actually like get the stuff for him. All right. Because he had enough people. Same as holding the gun. I think he wanted to put a million little strings on her to hem her up in case something happened. And he could blame her and use her. Again, if this is true, he sounds like a stone cold psychotic narcissist. So what would he do? He would want Cassie to be this way so he could hem her up. If she decided to leave, maybe he'd get her arrested. Maybe they have the doctor say it was safe. Or maybe if he got in trouble, he would pin it on Cassie and make her take the blame. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway. Diddy also became deeply involved in Cassie's personal life, with his personal staff attending to Cassie's day-to-day travel and other needs, including medical care. On multiple occasions, Diddy had Cassie's personal medical records sent directly to his email address. For instance, when Cassie began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excess blank use and head injuries caused by Puffy's pow-pows, her MRI results were provided directly to Puffy. Diddy also repeatedly arranged for his staff to drive Cassie to certain doctor's appointments. Y'all, what was Kim Porter going through? What was Kim Porter going through? Did they ever do an autopsy on her? What actually happened to Kim? I'm not saying that Puffy is in any way responsible. I am saying that after reading this, if I find out Puffy's responsible, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, right? In this way, Diddy exerted ownership over Cassie. As another example of the ways in which he manipulated Cassie and ensured obedience, early on in the relationship, he asked Cassie what she called her grandfather. When Cassie said that she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, ew, Diddy perversely insisted that Cassie referred to him with that nickname. Ew, he gets ick. Ugh. Ugh. Ew, God. Now, this is when it becomes violent and abusive. What started as a whirlwind celebrity meetings and drug and alcohol-fueled parties quickly, however, turned frightening and violent. Cassie also expressed, Cassie was also exposed. Turn up my brightness, hold on. Cassie was also exposed to intense violence that pervaded Diddy's rise to fame. For example, on one occasion when Diddy and Cassie were using illicit substances together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Diddy, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Diddy began to get dressed, retrieved multiple bang-bangs from the safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Suge was dining. Cassie was terrified and began to cry. On at least 2 occasions, yo, do you think the prosecutor in the Tupac murder case is talking to Cassie right now? I'm being serious. Do you think the prosecutor in the Tupac case is talking to Cassie right now? I do believe that if she knows what's good for him, he should be talking to Cassie right now. Over the next decade, multiple times each year, Diddy would violently beat down Cassie, leaving bruises on her body. After every instance in which he beat Cassie, Diddy used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of his abuse, including by hiding Cassie in hotels for days at a time to let her bruises heal. In one such instance, after a party with Jay-Z, Diddy Cassie. I don't want to keep saying the word because I don't want this to be demonetized. You guys also hit the like button and share if you can. I really appreciate it. Oh, Diddy see Cassie repeatedly freaked Cassie repeatedly in an Escalade, including by kicking and hitting her. He forced her out the vehicle on Fifth Avenue, New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab and get to her apartment in Manhattan, where she cried in fear, realizing that there was no one she could tell about what had happened at the hands of this incredibly powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in her apartment, which, by the way, was 5 minutes away from Diddy's. In January 2009, after Diddy learned that Cassie spoke to another music manager at a party in Los Angeles, he became enraged. Cassie was hoping that by speaking to the manager, it would allow her to further grow her career and get away from Diddy, because he was wilding out by that time. Puffy would be happy for her. And that Puffy would be happy for her, because apparently Puffy was always saying, you don't got any talent. You got this. I made your career. So she was just like, all right, well, then I'll go to a different manager. But instead, he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. How did he even know she was talking to that guy? How did she know? He learned that she spoke to another music manager. So that means that even at the party, she was right, because everybody was kissing Puffy's butt, that everybody you talked to, whether you want to escape them or not, was coming back. It gets worse. This is the tip of the iceberg. Okay. But instead, he pulled her out of the club. In the car leaving the club, he beat Cassie, pushing her into a corner of a vehicle and stomping on her face. His security staff, Roger Bonds, that's right, tried to stop the beating, but he was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, Cassie attempted to run away, but Puffy followed her and proceeded to again. He was kicking her in the face, y'all. She was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Puffy's home, where she began to throw up. She was so bad that she was throwing up from the assault. That's how bad it was. He was stomping in her. Okay. Upon recognizing the damage he'd done and the physical evidence of it, he panicked. He forced his staff to bring Cassie to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in Los Angeles, where she was required to stay for a week. Now, during the stay, her injuries from the stomping healed. She began to fully realize, that's when she fully began to realize Diddy's tremendously loyal network not only knew about and witnessed his assault, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop his behavior. She recognized she was powerless, and that reporting Diddy to the authorities would not alter Diddy's status or influence, but would merely give Diddy another excuse to hurt her. And listen, so he started off slow. There's more. Worming his way into her life, taking over her friends, her everything, isolating her. Then it started. And you know what? I will say one thing. Now that, I used to talk about this with my girlfriends all the time before I started my YouTube channel, because nobody wanted to listen to me. So, I got on here for y'all to listen to me, because they got sick of me running things into the ground. But all jokes aside, you see it every day when people are like, well, why didn't you say anything? But then we see people that say stuff and got pictures and video evidence and all this other stuff, and we still don't believe them. It really is a mixed bag. And when you do step forward and speak out against somebody powerful, you don't know whether you're going to go up or down. It really is. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's incredibly intellectually disingenuous and emotionally dishonest to be like, oh, well, you should have said something. You must have liked it. That's because you wanted the car. You can want a car. You can want a purse. You can want a time. Listen, you can even put up with a mildly controlling boyfriend if he's like not cheating on you and he buys you the world and you get what you want. Some people might be cool with that. But when somebody is doing the A-Town shuffle on your face, when someone is doing the A-Town shuffle on your face so hard that you are violently throwing up afterwards, and you are being forced to stay in a hotel room, come on now, ain't that much money in the world. I don't care what y'all say. If you say that she did it for the money, there's nobody in the world that would do it just for that. There has to be some type of emotional, like, what is it? Stockholm syndrome. Anyway, While in the hotel, Cassie asked could she go home to her parents, but Diddy was like, nah, you're not going anywhere. She lied to her mother when asked about online gossip forum that reported the assault. Y'all want to hear some real tea? That's actually. Do any of y'all remember an old school gossip site called Nicole Bitchy? Do y'all remember that site? Well, the tea on that is one of the reasons that Nicole. I'm going to get it wrong. Don't take this as fact. Google it yourselves, but I'm giving you a piece. Nicole Bitchy actually quit blogging because of some sort of either violent encounter or threat from Sean Combs. Again, hasn't been verified, but Google it. The information is out there. Please read it yourself and see if you do it. Now, mind you, I'm wondering now if this online platform that they're speaking of is the Nicole Bitchy site, and if she was forced to take down that post, because I think she was the one that broke that. Y'all remember also there was this other blog site called Crunk and Disorderly. I think Fresh was the one that wrote for it. Oh my God, that was some of the funniest times in gossip. Where is Fresh? They would be so good on YouTube. Okay, so Jamal Johnson said, I'm so happy he's finally getting his justice, talking about Diddy. His just due. He's done way more than this. See, I've always heard rumors, and to me, they sounded too fantastical. Oh, B, thank you so much for the super sticker, darling B. Thank you. They always sounded too fantastical to be believed, but now I'm really thinking, yeah, pivot your health. Thank you so much also for the super sticker. I very much appreciate you guys. Also, if you guys are listening, please hit that like, share, whatever. Come on. I'm literally, okay, so Diddy proceeded to instruct his assistant to purchase excessive amounts of gifts for Cassie, which were delivered to the hotel room where she remained trapped. Can you imagine somebody doing the A-Town shuffle on your face? Forcing you to go to the hotel room, right? Forcing you to go to the hotel room to stay. You're surrounded by everyone. Everybody's seeing it. They start bringing you all these crazy amounts of gifts. Meanwhile, you're looking at your face being bust open, and also the pain and the terror. I swear to God, I have to Google this. When was Jennifer Lopez's movie Enough? When was Jennifer Lopez movie Enough? Okay, one more second. I think I found something. When did Puffy and J-Lo break up? Yes, this is what I do in my free time. Oh my God. So you guys, side note, I'll get back, but this is important. The couple announced their split on Valentine's Day 2001. According to Diddy's publicist, Natalie Moore probably witnessed some of the stuff with Cassie. Diddy confirmed that he and his love, Jennifer Lopez, have in fact broken up. But get this, in May of 2002, Enough was released theatrically in the United States. It received generally negatively reviews from film critics and grossed nearly $52 million. I love that movie. That was negative reviews. Get this. Enough has been subject to critical reevaluation, especially towards J-Lo's performance, with some noting it was an underrated thriller. Exactly. That was a good movie. I think back then they were just dragging J-Lo, because no lie, J-Lo can't sing for ish. I think she's a mid dancer. She can dance, but whatever. But as an actress, I remember when she was Out of Sight by George Clooney, I always thought she was a good actress. The plot, J-Lo is a waitress in a Los Angeles diner where she meets Mitch Miller, who wards off a rude man trying to hit on her for a bet. She, again, being protective the way he was protective over Cassie. They eventually marry, have a daughter, blah, blah, blah. Years later, Mitch has been repeatedly cheating on her with no remorse. When she threatens to leave, he beats and threatens her. He insists that because he is the breadwinner, he can do whatever he likes and he won't end his affairs unless she wants to fight him. He warns her not to leave, stating that he refuses to live without her. She goes to the mom about the abuse. The mom consoles her briefly, but then asks, what did she do to make him angry? Her best friend Jenny advises her to leave him and press charges, but when she goes to the police, they offer no help. Right? Then the abuser says he knows she discussed the abuse with her mother and Jenny and taunts her. She realizes she has no choice but to take Gracie and leave. Anyway, she tries to escape with the daughter later that night, but he foils her plan and does the A-Town shuffle on her face. After a struggle, they escape. He empties and freezes her bank accounts. She's unable to rent a room. Tracking down a cheap hotel, he tries to break in, but she escapes. The next day, men posing as FBI show up and threaten Joe, damaging his... Okay, the whole point of the matter is, read the plot for enough. Does this not sound like exactly what Cassie said Diddy was doing to her? There's more. I'm going to get into it. But also, Jennifer Lopez starred in this film a year after she broke up with Puffy. I don't know. Let's see who wrote enough with Jennifer Lopez. If her name is on the screenplay, okay, so it was adapted. No, Michael Apted wrote it. Okay, so she didn't write it. But the point is, I wonder if art imitates life. You know, I just wonder. Okay, let's get more into this, shall we? I think Larry sent me a super chat. I just want to say thank you to Larry. Also, I want to say thank you to Bethlehem Tesfai Hofstetter. Thank you. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing anybody's name. Tosha Ward, thank you so much for the super chat. Who else am I missing? Larry Jansen said, what's done in the dark comes to light. He and possibly others never saw social media coming. It's the ultimate equalizer. Karma. Yo, I agree. Linda Duke says, yes, I'm from that blogging era. Oh, yes. Concrete Loop, that's what it was. No, Concrete Loop, Crunker's Disorder. And Nicole, yes, Concrete Loop, Nicole Bitchy, and Crunk and Disorderly. Crunk and Disorderly. I remember my older cousins used to read it. I didn't even know the people they were talking about, but they would have me dying. Okay, fine. Let's get back to work. Okay. Cassie was terrified. She was isolated and unable to see a pathway out of Diddy's abusive hold over her life. Hey, what's up? It's Latasha. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Okay. And Samantha, what's up, girl? Okay. She found herself becoming numb to the abuse she was experiencing and became entirely beholden to Diddy's demands. She began to blindly follow his instructions out of fear of being on the receiving end of another A-Town stomp. By Diddy's own admission, his relationship with Cassie was like Bobby and Whitney, a clear acknowledgement of the unequal power dynamic and excessive domestic violence that permeated their relationship. However, Cassie heard others refer to her relationship as Ike and Tina. He was volatile, he was abusive. He also owned her label and therefore held future success at her hands, and he exerted control over every aspect. Okay, now here comes the traffic stops. Okay, here come the traffic stops. Y'all ready for them? Okay. The first time Diddy hired a man and bought, I skipped a line. Within a few months of beginning, this literally is like Cinemax After Dark, the Red Shoe Diaries, right? Within a few months of beginning a romantic relationship with 42-year-old Mr. Combs, 22-year-old Cassie felt beholden to his whims and demands. While he was in New York, he told Cassie that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. He said that it would turn him on if he saw Cassie with another Richard, right? Figure it out yourself with another strong like bull. The first time Diddy hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Diddy, and Cassie wore masquerade masks and ingested illicit substances. Diddy directed Cassie to perform sloppy toppy with this man while Diddy watched them. He took care of himself. Diddy took care of himself while he directed Cassie and the man to do specific acts. Tell me this mofo don't got control issues out the wazoo, because that's all this is control. Yes, it's probably like homoerotic and all this, but to me, I see this is control. You get off on controlling somebody so much that you want to control them, like, ice cream so yummy, ice cream so yummy. You literally, like, this is like, it's sick, but this is all about control. This is control and breaking somebody down and getting off on forcing someone to go past all their boundaries, all for your pleasure, right? Anyway. Oh my God, listen to this. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Diddy began to call the arrangement a freak off or an FO. He would repeatedly tell Cassie at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Cassie was eventually expected to facilitate the location, and now Cassie was in charge of hiring the workers. Ain't that a mess? Cassie's in charge of hiring the workers, y'all. But here's the thing. I remember, unless this is like the Mandela effect, I do remember like certain blogs with saying that Puffy had parties called freak shows or freak offs or something like that. But then again, I might be imagining this, right? Natalia, lawyer chick is, oh my God, hold on. Ain't that some low down mess? You just wasted $5. How rude. You literally came into my live to say another person is doing a live? Idiot. Anyway, thank you, Dr. Tara Bates Dufort. You know what? People are always taking advantage of my trusting nature. We're literally having a live about horrific abuse, and you spent $5 to abuse me. Not you, Dr. Tara, I apologize. But the other person, I forgot your name. You spent $5 to Nicole, probably Natalie. God, you spent $5 at that to get into my live stream to advertise for your mess. People ain't right. Woo, people ain't right. Okay. J-Lo does need to tell us what J-Lo sees some things. She has to marry Ben Affleck, because the best out of everyone you had in Hollywood was a cheating person that can't take responsibility. Anyway. Oh yeah. Also, you guys, I'm on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. Thank you, B. I'm on TikTok. Tattle Tells, TELLSS with 2. But you know what? You don't even gotta follow me. Can you hit that like button? Okay. Or share this. Or hit me up when I'm on TikTok. Okay. Oh, okay. So we're back. So now that they had the first freak off that lasted days, and they were just like zooming around like, woo, what planet am I on? Because Cassie had to disassociate, okay, right? That was the first one. It got so bad that Puffy would randomly, he literally passed the torch of her oppression onto Cassie and literally told her, like, yo, pass the torch to the oppression, and literally told her, like, yo, you, what did she say? I want another FO. And now Cassie had to actually look through the catalogs to find who. Ooh. Now, at certain points during Mrs. Ventura and Diddy's relationship, he would insist on he would insist on an FO weekly. Diddy would repeatedly tell Cassie that this practice was our thing and our little secret. FOs would often take place in hotel suites, including at the Trump International Hotel in Columbus Circle, L'Hermitage, Beverly Hills, and the London Hotel in Los Angeles, the Intercontinental Center City, the Intercontinental Atlanta. Atlanta is always in the middle of some mess. Every time you hear some pervert, Atlanta's name is in there. The Intercontinental Atlanta, the Intercontinental New York City, the One Hotel in New York City, and in Miami, the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in New York, and Miami, the Fountain Blue in Miami, and the Beverly Hills Hotel, and Shutters on the Beach in Los Angeles. Is there any place this didn't occur? Oh my God. On one occasion around 2013, Diddy had an FO set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York City. after which he was charged with tens and thousands of dollars in damages by the hotel. Upon information and belief, Diddy's chief of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice charged by the hotel. Here's what she had to do. Diddy, wow. Whew. Cassie was eventually instructed to use websites and escort services to find male workers to participate in FOs. Diddy told Cassie to search for large black blank on websites. Sometimes Diddy would pay to fly male workers to his location, including to multiple cities in the United States as well abroad. He required Cassie and his staff to help him make these arrangements. He literally turned Cassie into his own beard. Y'all, Diddy turned Cassie, right? Diddy turned Cassie into his own beard. He turned Cassie into his own beard. That's what it is. Because he did that one time, and now all of a sudden Cassie was going to have to find his men. So she was his beard. Wow. Diddy's assistant would help set up the FOs, including by setting up the hotel suites for baby oil and Astroglide. Diddy always supplied Cassie and the workers with copious amounts of substances during and before the FOs. Cassie was giving Ecstasy, Molly, Coca-Cola, oh my God, GHB, Special K, Mary Jane, and liquor in excess amounts during F-offs, which allowed her to disassociate during the horrific events. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from excessive substances pushed on her. Let's not forget that he was demanding this once a week. Okay, so Cassie was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO. Diddy insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to take her to Pound Town. Ski, when you see me, it's kind of see what's up, ski. Okay, fine, let me be serious. But when I heard the white nail polish, I was just like, ski, when you see, it's time to see what's up, ski. Okay, fine. All right. That was really some ski. Cassie was required to dress up in lingerie, the white nail polish, because he liked the way it looked against his skin, right? During the FBO, Diddy would instruct Cassie to pour excessive amounts of oil on ski. If you see, Diddy then instructed Cassie and the workers to speak to each other, and then would specifically tell Cassie where to touch. Oh my God, this is literally turning into like Diddy where to touch my body. All right. Diddy would say things like, grab that big blank blank and ask her, how does it feel? As he directed her to perform for him. During the FOs, in addition to directing Cassie and directing himself, Diddy would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Cassie having blank with the hired workers. He treated the forced encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. Y'all, what if Cassie is up on some international, Eastern European smut site? What if he was actually selling? I'm not selling because he doesn't need the money, but what if because you know how like people like that trade things, right? What if other rich, powerful, successful men are men in his circle? That's why he was taping it and filming it, because it wasn't staying private. Maybe it never got on the World Wide Web. But what if Harvey Weinstein? What if this? Who's Puffy hang around? What if Jeff Bezos? I don't even want to do this. I don't want to get like Bill, but I'm not saying any of them did. But what if Puffy was on some Epstein mess? But instead of flying people to an island, his island was the island of Manhattan. And what if instead of making all these people like, Cassie goes saying, what if he made her do that? So, and he like traded that video for like money or power or deals or businesses or whatever. You think about it. People that are sick in the head like that usually know other people that are sick in the head. Because why Would he be going through so much to arrange candles and lighting just right to make sure that everything looked right? He was making a film. I don't think he was making it for his personal use. I wonder how many rich, powerful men, businessmen, whatever, actually saw Cassie go into Pound Town. I'm just saying. While Cassie quickly deleted any photographs or video of the acts if they were taken on her phone, Diddy repeatedly made clear that he retained many videos of their FOs. Even when she deleted the videos, Diddy would tell Cassie that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. On one occasion, that means that he literally had software. He had mal software on her phone that anything she did on her phone, it would show up. You know, people can put software on your computer that they can see everything you go to, everything you look at, everything you save. It literally is like they literally clone your computer and they can see everything. They can do the same thing with the phone. And that software is not expensive. Okay. Anyway, okay. Even though she deleted the videos, he would tell Cassie that he was able to recover the videos. On one occasion, he literally slid next to her onto a flight and he made her watch what she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her inability to escape and immerse her and the immense power that he held. This is some Illuminati. I don't even believe in Illuminati, but I don't know. Diddy would pay the male workers a few $1,000s in cash for their services. During some FOs, Diddy would become extremely intoxicated. Oh my God. And he would do the A-Town stomp on to Cassie in front of the male workers. Cassie was repulsed by Puffy's demands, but between the physical beating and recognizing his incredible power and incredible temper, Cassie became petrified of her partner and boss and felt she couldn't say no. He would even present her with lavish gifts to or in the middle of FOs, seemingly acknowledging the ways in which these forced encounters constituted work for Cassie, and he needed to compensate her for his work. At one point, he had given her so many designer bracelets for FOs, and immediately following the H-Town stomps, that she felt that she was shackled by his presence. Now this makes me think about, like, you know, when people be like on Instagram, and again, I don't want to talk because I know that like being an influencer, when you have like those deals with clothing companies and so, you know, like an actual role, you're doing makeup here, it pays really, really well. So I don't want to disparage like the actual real hard work that a lot of young girls were able to build their fortunes just reviewing like clothes and makeup and doing hair and conditioners and stuff. So I don't want to disparage that. But I mean, like, it makes me wonder, some people that you never see them with brand deals. They never post like ad partner. They don't come from wealthy parents and you don't quite know what they do for a living, but they got the Cartier bracelets like up to their neck and the Van Cleef and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to disparage because I hate to be that person that's like, oh, that's where you got it from, because I don't believe that, because people hate on women that got anything. So forget I even said that. Strike that from your record. But it's crazy to me that Cassie, to me, had like, she was dating like almost like a multimillionaire. So I assumed that like she was just getting that because she was pretty and he liked her. And you know how it is. Even if you dating somebody that work at like Taco Bell, if you're his boo, he is bringing you home all the crumb scraps you can eat. When a man likes you, a man will shower you with what he can, even if it's only like getting you your favorite flavor of ice cream from Thrifty's on the way home. It don't matter. He's going to do it, right? But to think that all that stuff that she had on, everything that we saw, she would get stuff there was a price on that, a real price. Somebody said, all this confirms why I never liked his no talent, non-dancing, sorry behind. Take that, take that, take that. It just really makes me sad for Cassie that from the outside, everybody is like, wow, right? You have like all this stuff and they seem like they were so in love and she seemed so happy. And meanwhile, everything she had was paid for in tears, in blood, in sweat. Frequently, Cassie's anxiety before an FO would become so great that she would become physically ill, sometimes to the point of throwing up. While kneeling over the toilet, Puffy would shame her into performing for him, eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the FO. Yo, Cassie was in a living hell. This is some eyes wide shut Illuminati like, yo, Jennifer needs to start talking. Who else has he been with? He's tried to silence people close to Comporta, I think. I don't know. That's alleged. I don't know. What about Carisha? What is Carisha going through? He even, Diddy would present her with lavish gifts prior, in the middle. He forced her. She knew firsthand that telling Diddy she did not want to engage in FOs was met with anger and violence. In addition, any suggestion that Miss Ventura would refuse the FO or otherwise report Diddy's abuse was met with ultimatums by Diddy, who would say that Cassie could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. Now, around August 2015, for example, in the middle of a surprise birthday dinner for Cassie's 29th birthday, Diddy insisted that Cassie leave the party and go to a hotel for an FO. When she expressed that she did not want to go, this is her birthday. It was a surprise. Puffy is evil. Puffy, let me just roll this back. He threw her a surprise birthday party for her birthday, 29th birthday, right? Oh, thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Tracy. She said, you're a CNN. Great coverage, right? Somebody said she had nowhere to run. Y'all, Puffy was so rich and powerful. He blew up, according to Cassie, Kid Cudi's car. And there was no repercussion. Would you open your mouth? It sounds like she's dating a mafia boss and someone being like, Carmela, why didn't you report the abuse that Tony was inflicting on you? And Carmela looks at you like, this man runs half of South Jersey. Are you out of your mind? Carmela, remember Carmela? Anyway, get this. So she's in the middle of a surprise birthday party for her 29th birthday. This fool literally kept insisting that she leave the party and go to a hotel for a FO. When she expressed she didn't want to go, he cornered. When she said she didn't want to go, he had his security corner Cassie and force her to leave. And you're wondering why she didn't go to the police. And let me tell you something. A lot of Harvey Weinstein's victims went to the police. You saw what happened to them. I'm just saying. All right. After this FO, Diddy and Cassie went back to the hotel room that Cassie was staying in, where some of Cassie's friends were already hanging out. Diddy was extremely intoxicated, and at one point during the night, picked up one of Cassie's friends like a child and dangled the friend over the balcony of the 17th floor hotel suite. Cassie and her friends were scared by Diddy's erratic behavior, but Cassie was heavily sedated because of the things that she took to participate in the FO, and therefore was unable to respond to his terrifying behavior. So let me get this straight, because this is just blowing my mind. And I don't know if it's coming across as like, Diddy threw a surprise birthday party for Cassie and invited all her family and friends. It was huge. I remember this party for her 29th birthday. And he literally, according to Cassie, insisted in the middle of the party that he threw for her that she leave to go at FO, that she was terrified of doing, and he got off on that. And when she was like, no, I don't want to go, he had a security grab her and take her there. He then got her, zooming like a kite. They returned to the hotel room that Cassie was staying in. Cassie's friends didn't know where they went. They're just hanging around. Like, where they at? They probably said, oh, we'll be right back. We got something to do. Where they at? They came back in the hotel room. Diddy was so inebriated that he picked up one of Cassie's friends and dangled her like a child over the balcony of the 17th floor of a New York City hotel. And Cassie was so sedated that she couldn't do anything but watch. Y'all. The FOs became work for Cassie. Yeah, you're his beard. And despite protestations, um, Diddy insisted on these intricately staged and forced actual encounters between Cassie and various male workers. I hope, you know what? It is like a blessing. I see why now, when Cassie debuted that she was with that trainer, Alex, and everybody was like, oh, you left Diddy for a trainer. And I was like, I mean, he looked better than Diddy, you know? Like, right? I don't know, right? But the people that knew Cassie, Lauren London, all her friends were like they were on it. They loved it. The mom, everybody was so happy. And now I see why. Now get this. This is when she tried to escape the abuse. Anytime she tried to create distance between her and Diddy, he used his network to find her and convince her to return. On multiple occasions, Diddy sent his employees to lure Cassie back. In 2011, during a rough patch with Diddy and Cassie's relationship, Cassie had a brief relationship with musician Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi, that's the guy that drove Amanda Bynes crazy. When Diddy returned from a trip, he demanded another FO of Cassie. She was like, I'll say one thing, Cassie don't cheat. She cheated on Ryan Leslie. She don't cheat. During this FO, Diddy I guess she did cheat. Okay, well, no, she didn't because they weren't together. Okay, you know I'm always going to take the woman's side. During this FO, Diddy found Cassie's phone and found emails between her and Kid Cudi. Diddy became enraged and proceeded to place a manual corkscrew between his fingers, and he lunged at Cassie. Cassie ran away to stay at Kid Cudi's home to escape Puffy's wrath. Soon after, one of Diddy's staff members told Cassie she needed to just talk to Diddy, even though Diddy was enraged. Feeling like she could not escape Diddy or his network, Cassie returned to Diddy. He blinked her several times and then kicked her in the back as she tried to run out the door. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, where her mother took pictures of the bruises that Diddy had left on her body. I guess this was the first time her mom found out. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, and also in February 2012, during Paris Fashion Week. Diddy told Cassie that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. I remember when Kid Cudi's car exploded and everybody was like, oh, well. And I remember thinking, is Kid Cudi in the cartel? Why is your car exploding? Who knew it was because of Puffy? Cassie was terrified as she began to fully comprehend what Diddy was both willing and able to do to those he believed slighted him. In 2015, Cassie spoke to a popular music manager at an after party in a hotel suite in Las Vegas. Diddy saw her speaking to this manager. So this was an after party Diddy was hosting. So Diddy saw her speaking to the manager and sternly told her to step into the bedroom adjoining the suite. In the bedroom, Diddy, wow, he hurt Cassie really, really bad, severely. She ran from corner to corner of the room, trying to avoid Diddy's beating and, oh my God, beating and stomping. When she tried to lock herself in the bathroom, he pushed through and punched and kicked, oh my God, punched and kicked her while she curled up under the toilet. Her screams were drowned out by the loud music playing in the outside area of the hotel suite. Y'all, oh my God. When Diddy's head of security and assistants saw Cassie after the assault, they began to cry. Cassie had 2 black eyes, a burst and bruised lip, and a huge welt on her forehead. Upon seeing the results of this, Diddy immediately took steps to conceal his wrongdoing. He forced Cassie to stay at his home in Holby Hills along with one of his sons. While there, he even brought his kids into this. Diddy, shit, if this is true. While there, Diddy FaceTimed Cassie and said, you got to go up and put more makeup on. My son can't see you like that. She did put makeup on, but Cassie felt that she had no choice but to obey him. Even though security guards, assistants, and friends saw the situation she was in, no one dared to help her or speak up on her behalf. She therefore had no choice but to remain subservient. Later in 2015, while shooting a movie in Cape Town, South Africa, Cassie began a flirtatious relationship with an actor. She spent New Year's Eve with that actor, but Mr. Combs soon found out. Diddy called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Cassie and tell her, "You really need to call Diddy." In and around March 2016, during an FO, hold on, guys. Oh, thank you so much. So, what's up, Jamie? So, Teresa Altery said, I remember when Kim had to have plastic surgery when they were on a yacht. That is a, thank you. This is Kim Altery. Wow. I'm like so flustered for this. Thanks so much. Where were we? This is literally this is hell. She curls up under a toilet. You are in a suite in Vegas while everybody is dancing, having a ball. Puffy's parties are legendary, and nobody can even hear you scream. And he stops when he got tired. Okay. In and around March 2016, during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, for those of you guys who want to know, a FO is what Puffy called a freak off. That is when Cassie had to get black men with strong like bull to entertain him, and he liked the director like it was all eyes wide shut. Voyeurism, they call it. Okay. Hit that like button also if you guys can. Ugh, this is making me sick. In March 2016, during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles, Diddy became extremely intoxicated and bopped Cassie in the face, giving her a. After he fell asleep, Cassie tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Diddy awoke and began screaming at her. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and he took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator, and when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that her running away would cause Diddy to be even more angrier with her and completely stuck in this vicious cycle of abuse, she returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from him. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into the cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing him going, like wailing on her, stomping on her, and throwing glass at her in the hallway. Upon information and belief, Diddy paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. After this, Cassie left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's house in Florida. James Cruz, president of Bad Boy Management, tracked down Cassie and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Diddy's phone calls. A woman who worked at this point, and I get it, I don't want to judge Cassie because abuse is they get you mentally broken and then the physical starts. So I'm not blaming her at all. But at this point, I would have been like, I'm working at Rite Aid. Like, you know how people are like, I used to always hear people being like, I gave up all this. And y'all can laugh if y'all want, but baby, I can sleep at night and I'm happy. And I'm not trying to shake Cassie at all, please. Because what she endured was horrible. And she clearly didn't have the mental strength to leave. But you know how, like, when you hear people say that, some people are like, oh, you're all cap. You know that thing when people are like, I'd rather cry in a Bentley than be happy in a Pinto. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Now I'm beginning to see why you see people walk away and they're just like living in the garden in the middle of nowhere, planting their tomatoes. You know, they're like, oh, you want some food? I reckon I'll turn the fire on. And they got to put like wood into their stove to make the stove work. And you're like, You used to be so rich and powerful, but you realize, and this is basically what Cassie did when she got the strength to leave. I remember everybody dragging her for downgrading in their minds to a personal trainer, even though Alex wasn't broke, he was a personal trainer to the stars. But like, I remember when they all dogged her. Oh, you crazy. You did all this. Cassie fumbled the bag. She had all this, and then she married a trainer. And I remember thinking, maybe, I didn't know it was this bad, but I was like, maybe the glamorous life, it's like when you meet somebody you love, that's just it. You don't care. Y'all could be happy going through the McDonald's drive-through. Like, it don't matter, right? But now it just makes me see why people, when they escape and they like to have all that, and you see them living so simply, it's because they know the dark side that came with it. It wasn't free. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, a woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. I hope they take Sony Music down, because I will say a lot of these artists that have bad behavior, it is the record labels that are doing this to them. It's the record labels. Okay. Incredibly, Diddy even convinced one of his attorneys, oh, somebody's getting disbarred, to call Cassie at this time. The lawyer told Cassie that it's in your best interest to call Diddy back. Each time Cassie tried to run away, Diddy and his powerful network would force her to come back. Diddy's tight hold over her life had irreparably damaged her friendships. Around 2018, when Cassie was with her friend Carrie Morgan in her house, Diddy used his key to Cassie's house to come in unannounced. He and Miss Morgan had an altercation during which Diddy threw a hanger at Miss Morgan. Upon information and belief, the incident resulted in a settlement between Diddy and Morgan. And Cassie ended up paying Morgan additional funds in an attempt to resolve the dispute between her close friend and her controlling boyfriend. The relationship between Cassie and Morgan have been strained since this time. Seeing the extreme measures Diddy took to keep a tight hold of Cassie and to isolate her from support network, and having experienced the repercussions of rejecting his demands, Cassie felt that saying no to Diddy was going to cost her something: her family, her friends, her career, or even her life. By 2017 and 2018, right? This is section 7. Diddy rapes Cassie. By 2017 and 2018, Cassie became desperate to leave Diddy and his abuse of her. She recognized that if she stayed with him, she'd never be able to have a successful career or even be physically or mentally safe. She therefore became determined to completely break away from Diddy and a cycle and make concerted efforts to avoid him. September 2018, she joined Diddy for a dinner in an Italian restaurant. I was telling you guys about this earlier. It was at Malibu. I don't know why I think it's like Mario Balducci or whatever. You know, the same one that's in New York with the mid-average Italian food that's like overpriced. Anyway, right? For what she believed would be a discussion about concluding the relationship for good. After dinner, they went to Cassie's home. He forced himself into his apartment, again, tried to kiss her. She was like, stop, stop, stop. There was a struggle. He raped her. Despite moving away, Cassie's address, he doxed Cassie, was posted online in early 2019, leading her to fear for her safety. Cassie was under immense duress during the months after Diddy raped her, took all steps possible to entirely remove herself from his ambit, including by entering, she got out of the contracts for her record deal, Bad Boy Entertainment. So that's what happened to her record career. Here's the lifelong harm. As a result of the immense trauma Cassie endured for over a decade by Diddy, she has suffered and continues to suffer from immense emotional distress. Following her escape from a cycle of abuse and traffic lighting, she struggled with the physical and mental manifestations of her trauma. She actually really was. I wonder who saw those tapes. Were they shown at industry parties, get-togethers? You can't tell me he didn't have 3 cameras on her adjusting light and you weren't showing that or selling it or using it as a barter. Anyway, following her escape Mm. The birth of her two children, however, allowed her a new lease on life and gave her purpose. She credits her children with saving her from the trauma that had consumed her over a decade of her life. Except for the months when she was pregnant with her children, Cassie struggled with her, oh my God, with her addictions that were established and fueled by Puffy. She turned to substances to drown out the memories of everything. Without being intoxicated, she suffered from horrific nightmares of the forced acts that Diddy demanded she participated in during regularly scheduled FOs and the physical pounding that she endured during the relationship. She had difficulty eating and sleeping, and her relationship with her family suffered. During this time, she frequently had thoughts of deleting herself. To rebuild her life and career, Cassie needed to completely reinvent herself. Good for her. She checked herself into an inpatient treatment at a rehabilitation center where she first confronted the extent of the trauma she lives with. She has required extensive therapy and other medical care to recover from Diddy's abuse, and she will forever live with the physical and psychological repercussions of over a decade of violence, fear, and exploitation. Although Cassie was unable to speak up against the years of abuse she endured at the hands of Diddy, she has since been able to rebuild her life and confront her trauma. Thanks to the passage. Oh, I was just talking about this. Sorry, guys. Thanks to the passage of New York's Adult Survivors Act and California's Sexual Abuse Accountability Cover Up Act, she is now ready and able to also confront her abuser and hold him and those who enabled his abuse accountable for their actions. Again, if anybody is suffering from anything, no matter how big or small they have, and it happened decades ago, whether it happened when you were a child, a teenager, whether it happened and you think that you have no recourse because the statute of limitations has run out, it is not true. New York and California have instituted the New York Adult Survivors Act and California Blank Abuse Accountability and Cover Up Act. God is good. Oh, this is so much. Now, she has a bunch of causes of actions if you guys want me to go through. She is saying that Puffy, she's accusing him of being a traffic person. She's bringing us, this, of course, is a civil action. I wonder if the DA is going to get involved and actually bring criminal charges against him. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Puffy should be very scared. This lawyer is not playing. They're saying the plaintiff is a victim of blank trafficking and the meaning under Chapter 18 USC Section 159 A and B, and is therefore entitled to bring a civil action under Chapter 18 USC Section 1595. This is in the, she's trying to say that Puffy is a blank trafficker. Yeah. And she's also trying to say that it's not just Puffy. She's saying that it was through multiple jurisdictions. So that is a federal crime. Federal crimes are always worse, especially. So anytime you cross state lines, it's a new jurisdiction. That's why people say you do a con and you get somebody to give you your credit card information in California, you live in New York, that is interstate. Interstate is no joke when it comes to federal. So she's trying to say that not only was Puffy, but she's saying that Bad Boy Records, people employed with Bad Boy Records, all his corporations and all his stuff are nothing but a huge cover-up for being a trafficker. Wow. They're saying that the corporations have financially and otherwise benefited as a result of these acts and admissions by keeping Diddy, the volatile and explosive owner of the corporation, satisfied. She has about 10 corporations outside of the Sony Music and all the Def Jam stuff. Oh my God. They benefited from facilitating this behavior to the extent it kept the mogul happy and kept Cassie obedient. Wow. This is groundbreaking. They're saying Bad Boy Records, Bad Boy Entertainment, and all the corporations he has, 1 through 10, formed a venture as defined by Chapter 18 USC Section 1591, given that they constituted a group of two or more individuals associated. Oh, wait. Are they trying to get them under the RICO Act? They said a group of two or more individuals associated, in fact, whether or not a legal entity. It sounds like they're trying to bring RICO charges for all the companies. As I direct, but again, let me be clear. RICO charges are criminal charges. Only the state or the federal government can bring criminal charges. Yo, is Puffy about to get criminal charges? Because it sounds like they're trying to make it easy for the prosecution to bring about RICO Act. And back to those NDAs that Puffy had his people sign, just to let you know, NDAs usually do well if you're not breaking the law. But if somebody makes you sign an NDA, that does not mean that they cannot speak on your actions if they were breaking the law, or if the government pulls you into trial because they suspected that you broke the law. So NDAs only work in civil. When the government gets involved, when the courts, when the police, those NDAs don't mean anything. You can violate them at your abandon. It sounds like they're trying to get the prosecutors, either the U.S. attorneys or the DA, to bring up RICO charges and also trafficking charges against Puffy. Wow. She's seeking damages as direct and proximate result of his unlawful conduct as alleged hereof. They want economic harm and they want embarrassment, PTSD, economic harm, and other consequential damages. They want attorney's fees. Plaintiff repeats. Yeah, so they're saying under federal law and New York penal law, right? Yeah, Puffy is, wow. They're also saying Bad Boy Records, all his corporations, almost everybody he works with, at all relevant times, defendants participated in and facilitated the harboring and transportation of plaintiff for purposes of blank oath. The defendant corporations have financially and otherwise benefited as a result of these acts and omissions. Oh my God, Puffy is done. This is not going anywhere, you guys. Third cause of action. They're also saying they're in violation of California Civil Code. Wow. The demanding corporations have financial. Oh, so they're repeating it, but it's federal. They're doing state. They're doing state civil. They're doing federal, and they're doing also California. The fourth cause of action is, I'm skipping over stuff because YouTube is going to bleep out a lot of this stuff, so we got to whatever. Oh, a Pisces lady, what's up, girl, just said Puff limited his comments on IG. I got the attorney general. Limited his comments on Instagram. Ish is going down. He didn't see this coming because Cassie said that he tried to pay her 8 figures to not speak on this and to sign an NDA. And she refused and said, MFer, right? MFer. Hips, lips, tits, and thighs. I'm a Barbie, right? She literally was like, MFer. I'm trying to seek Jada and Alexis, but I can't without saying the words. Anyway, he wanted her to be quiet, and she was like, I'll see you in court. I'll see you in court. And I see why she said, you know what the thing is? If it was all about money, she would have took that settlement. Cassie is trying to destroy Puffy. And here's the thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's one, there's many. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where in cases like this, where there's one, there's many. You really think that all this stuff and this need for control, you think that Cassie was the only one he was doing this to? You think I don't even know if he was doing this, but if these allegations are true, I would recommend that I think the girl's name is Gina, that there's a bunch of dumb, I don't want to call them dumb. There's a bunch of women that he was doing 10 times less for, that he cared about 10 times. Like Cassie was like his favorite abused puppy. But I bet you there were like other people he looked at as like rats running around that he treated 10 times worse, but also used that to scratch the itch. You know what I'm saying? So by Cassie's doing this, how much you want to bet other people might come out? And even if they don't, this is enough to bring down his empire. And she has a powerhouse attorney to do it. Wow. Puffy is in some trouble. Wow. She's also saying that he committed battery and violations under New York Penal Code and California. He's saying it was willful, wanton, malicious, blah, 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 blah. She's asking for punitive and exemplary damages according to proof at trial. She has proof. Oh my God, she says she has proof. The action is timely because they expanded the statute of limitations. Wow. You guys, what y'all think of this? I am shocked. They're saying that they engaged in cover-ups as defined by California Civil Code. Again, the trafficking, the grape, the blank, I can't even say half these words. The blank battery, the blank abuse, the forcible act of blank, pin and blank. They were engaged in a cover-up. Wow. They have 6 causes of actions. They're even getting them on crimes of violence motivated by gender. They're getting them on the Domestic Violence Act in federal, California, and New York City. They're trying to get him liable under the VGMPVL. That is, what is that? I don't know. Oh, commission of a crime of violence motivated by gender. Okay. As a direct and proximate result of the aforementioned violence and gender motivated, Diddy has sustained and will continue to sustain Cassie has sustained and will continue. Okay, so they want to be awarded 7th cause of action. Ooh, tell me you being buried without telling me you being buried. They had unlawful discriminatory conduct and violation of the New York SHRL. Oh, that was creating the hostile work environment. The New York State hostile work environment law, whatever. Harassment, blank, blank, blank. So they're saying he also harassed her at work. He wants that. Direct, everybody helped them. The 10 corporations, Sony Music, Bad Boy Record, everybody. 8th cause of action. She was discriminated, Diddy discriminated against Cassie on the basis of her gender, in violation of NYCHRL, subjecting Cassie to disparate treatment based upon her gender, including but not limiting to harassment, rape, and hostile work environment. Wow. And everybody helped. They pray. Wherefore, plaintiff prays judgment be entered in favor against defendants, each of them as follows. Action 1, for a money judgment representing compensatory damages, including consequential damages, lost wages, earning, and all other sums, together with interest on these amounts according to proof. Action 2, for a money judgment for mental pain and anguish and severe emotional distress according to proof. Action 3, for punitive and exemplary damages according to proof. Action 4, for attorney fees and costs. I know that's right. Her lawyer is not cheap. Action 5, for judgment and post-judgment interest. And Action 6, for such and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Here be entered November 16, 2023. New York, New York. This just dropped out. Douglas H. Wigdor, Meredith A. Firetog. Oh my God. They have Meredith Fire. And Michael J. Williman, 85th Ave. When I tell you, this is Wigdor LLP is Diddy, yeah. How he getting out of this? How is that fool getting out of this? I ask of ye, someone tell me, how is he getting out of this? Y'all, this is sick. This is sick. And get this, Cassie only listed the stuff that she could prove. They all sit there that they have clear, unequivocal proof of everything they stated in there. So all the other stuff that happened that she can't prove, she just charged that to the game. Y'all, this man did all this to her and literally was going around saying she was the one that got away. What is Carisha going through? Linda Duke said, I felt like it was him getting out like an escape situation. Oh, you're talking about when he gave the publishing rights to all the bad boy people? I don't know. I thought he started practicing Santeria and had offered a, what do you call it? An offering or whatever? Given an offering. Y'all, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. I am, cut to my Erica voice and love it. I am disgusted. I am shocked. I'm disgusted. I can't believe that Cassie went through all this. And it wasn't even just she went through that. Everybody saw. He had a bunch of people, right? You know, I read this tweet today that I thought was funny, but I now see, like, whatever. People like to go after women and be like, oh my God, women are gold diggers. They do anything for guys with money. But the tweet said, y'all talk about women with money. Y'all ever see men the way they act around other men with money? She said, y'all be twirling around calling him boss. And this isn't just like put down any men, but like the fact that he was surrounded, even his own security looked the other way. And when security saw what Puffy had done to her, they broke down crying. What's up, B? How you doing? But again, she's not suing the security. She's suing Puffy's company, right? She's suing Puffy's company. Audrey LJ, if you guys are wondering, from Dana to Kane, there's while we were on the phone, a few people text. Hold on. Denitria Perry said, I have one question. Where is Jaguar Wright? Oh my God. Where is Jaguar Wright? If y'all know who Jaguar Wright is, there's this girl on, I always saw her stuff on YouTube. I never really watched it because everybody tried to paint her as crazy, you know? And plus, y'all know me, I'd be busy working, putting out videos. So, you know, right? I don't have time to watch people's stuff anymore. But I used to always see clips on like the internet. And they tried to paint her as crazy. And I think Jaguar Wright actually got institutionalized as crazy, and they like sedated her and stuff. And I remember a lot of people say, because she was always saying that this is what was happening with Puffy, and they came for Jaguar, and she got put into a mental institution. Because I don't know if it's because of the stuff she was saying, but they said that she was crazy. But if you look at Jaguar Wright's old videos, she was saying this mess was happening. She even described what the freak-offs were. Y'all. Here's the thing. I know there's going to be a bunch of dusty men and women going in saying, Cassie want money, Cassie a gold digger, Cassie this, Cassie that. But riddle me this, Batman. If Cassie wanted money, she would have taken that $30 million. And also, there was so much detail. I don't think somebody could make that up. I mean, maybe, but it just, you know, when you feel like you're reading the truth, it rings true. You ever notice that when someone's telling you the truth, when you're reading something, the truth rings true. You don't know why it rings true, but it does. Just like a lie always just don't sit right. You let them go, but you're just like, I guess. What Cassie said in every way, shape, or form, it rang true to me. What did you guys think? Did you guys believe it? Right? Did you? You know what I will say? Y'all know that if y'all are new to my channel, hit that like button, subscribe if you want. But y'all know me if you ever saw me on the channel, and I'll be dragging celebrities. Like, I point out the absurdity, I do it with humor, but it always strikes me the way in our modern Western, yes, I'm about to start on my socialist comrade communist rally, right? It always shocks me that in Western capitalistic societies, people really believe because you have money, power, and fame, that makes you a good person. Now, sometimes it does. Not makes you, but sometimes there are good people that really, like, you know, They get famous, they get money, and they're just salt of the earth. But there's a lot of demons that just because you like the way their music is bopping, just the way you like the way they do their lip gloss, just because you like the way they wear their hair, just because you think they're a cute power couple, just because whatever, just because you like their body, you somehow think that means morally they're a good person because God blessed them with some attribute you want or some material possession you want. You think it makes them like a good person. And we're finding out like this industry, I mean, honestly, look at Doja Cat. I'm not getting into the paint the town red stuff. I'm just saying, like, now she seems to be okay. But y'all remember when it looked like Doja was going through a thing where she was trying to make herself look as ugly as possible? I mean it. She was going out of her way to make herself look as ugly. And one of the producers that made all of her hits was Dr. Luke. I think Keisha said what he did to her. Not Luke, like, not Luke like that, not the Luke dancer, thick like Luke dancers. No, I'm talking about Dr. Luke. He's a producer. He worked with Keisha and a few other people. And there were allegations that he was like another monster. And Doja Cat worked with him early in her career. And then she went on a whole point where she was trying to look as unappealing, as repulsive to the gaze of the male eye as she could. And I remember seeing that and being like, yo, did something happen to her in the industry? And I'm not saying it did, but now that I'm reading this, it just makes me think like, what is going on? Ooh, what is going on? Literally, what is going on? Oh, listen, I just know that Cassie, listen, we're going to wrap this up. Oh, wait, no, before we go, don't go. I was on Twitter real quick. Let me tell you what Twitter was saying. It's only going to be like 5-10 more minutes. It'll be worth your time. And then you can get out of here and go, scroll the internet. But I mean, if you want to hang around. If not, I'll make a video about it tomorrow. So one way or the other, you're going to get this work. Okay, so hold on. Somebody said they've done a good job of scrubbing the story of Diddy breaking Kim Porter's nose on that yacht and flying in that plastic surgeon. I forgot the BS, but I forget BS, but I don't forget stuff like that. It happened in like 2005. Oddly enough, that's the same year he was chasing after Cassie. Somebody said Cassie's former personal assistant says her alleged claims against Diddy are true. It was Dexter James Media said it's all true. I've seen it with my own eyes as a personal assistant. It was sad to watch, but I'm happy she's good now and speaking out. Somebody else said the thing Cassie said about him forcing her to carry his bang bang got me looking at the infamous night Sean had with J-Lo in 1999 in a whole new light. Aubrey O'Day from Diddy Kane. You remember the boy stairs. We sit back. We got showstopper. Okay, let me stop. Let me do it. Okay, the boys. We saw it back. Okay, fine. That used to be my song when I was getting dressed for school. Boys stare. We stare. Showstopper. Okay, fine. Okay, but I just do want to say Aubrey actually said, I stay trying to tell y'all, Aubrey has been spilling tea on people in the industry. Now I want to go through her whole timeline and see who she was actually talking trash about. Because that's the thing. We like to call her crazy. And judging by the way her makeup is, she tends to present as crazy. But she has not been caught in a lie yet. Aubrey O'Day actually hinted at this a few months back too. She said Aubrey is really spilling it all. Diddy ain't seeing those pearly gates. Okay. So also, I'm talking to a few people that claim to know Diddy too. I'm going to post some videos tomorrow. Make sure that you, if you don't subscribe or hit whatever, just make sure you stop by my channel. Hopefully they recommend you. Okay, hold on. We're not done. Dawn from Diddy Kane. No, was Dawn on Diddy Kane? Yeah, she was Dawn from Diddy Kane. Said, praying for Cassie and her family for peace and healing. You are beautiful and brave. Wait! We forgot the biggest evidence. Remember when Mace fled New York and turned his life over to God because he couldn't take what was happening? Wasn't Puffy a good mentor of Justin Bieber? Remember? But remember when Mace literally fled and literally gave his life over to Jesus because of the things he saw in Bad Boy. Again, it's too bad Tasha K ruined her credibility this week. I mean, she'll be back because she always comes back, right? But with that Will Smith stuff, like, I don't know. I feel like the credibility, I didn't believe it. But she said, because she was the first and only to give a voice to his ex-girlfriend, Gina. Remember the girl that he was fighting with Young Miami? She had a bunch of excuses. She even said that Diddy paid off something with Lori. Oh my God. Remember those rumors of Lori Harvey? No, I don't believe that. Remember the rumors? I'm not even going to bring her name into it because y'all, I love Lori Harvey. Y'all be dragging her for no reason. They said, let's not forget that Diddy reassigned music publishing rights to his old Bad Boy artists some weeks back, contingent on them signing fresh NDAs. This man was blowing up cards. Who is working for him? Did he have the mob working for him? Like, who has access? Who? How many people did he have on his payroll? I'm talking about doctors, hospitality workers, hotels, everybody. Again, and one incident described in the court papers, Cassie says in 2000, Diddy grew angry about her dating Kid Cudi, blah, 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 threatened to blow the car up. Again, somebody said something similar happened to Nicole Bitchie, and that's the real reason she stopped blogging. Again, this is all alleged. Y'all. I can't. Again, Aubrey from Danity Kane has been hinting at this for years about he tried to force Aubrey into doing freak-offs, and she refused. And that's why he tore the group apart, because the girls for Danity Kane were like, we're not going to do this. So he tore them apart. Don't forget Kim Porter's nanny, which is, I think might be her niece or something, is suing Diddy. Wow. The music industry is so dark and evil. No wonder they tried to protect Tory Lanez and R. Kelly. And now that I look at that shaved head style that Cassie had that sparked all those trends, did that mofo rip the hair out? This is crazy, y'all. Listen. I don't even know what to say. Y'all. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes rejection is protection. That's what I'll say. God is good all the time. Without saying too much, rejection is protection. And even when it's just like something like you late or you miss a train or somebody getting on your nerves, rejection is protection. And all that glitters is not gold. And it breaks my heart that Cassie was like imprisoned. And please, nobody in my comments be like, oh, she wanted the money. It's sad to me that, because when I see people saying, oh, she wanted the money, it makes me think that those people are saying, if you had the choice, you would endure that type of treatment for the money. Because in your mind, you can't see, the money's still tempting enough. And if that is the way you feel, you need to work something out, because baby, when it money only keeps you occupied for 6 months. Once you go everywhere, you buy every fancy thing. Yeah, it's fun at first, but once you have everything you've ever wanted, I mean it. I'm not talking about islands and stuff, but once you've had, look, didn't Young Miami just Diddy rent out a whole private island for her? Didn't he have a baby? Yo, has Carisha come? I hope she's safe. I hope that whatever Cassie's talking about is a thing of the past, and nobody that he's messing with is being subjected to this. I really honestly do. I really hope Carisha's okay. She seemed like it, but then again, didn't Keke Palmer, because Carisha's always funny, she's always bubbly, but didn't Keke Palmer feel like it? Right? Wasn't she always bubbly? Wasn't like everyone always bubbly? You just can never tell. You really can't. Like, somebody said she always looked miserable to me, and the fact that people mock her for being that pretty in Diddy's last choice would not make me want to be there. Yeah, poor Kim Porter. Somebody said, no, it wasn't ripped out. Young Jock invited her. He said Diddy saw a white chick on the screen with her hair like that. Oh, okay, so it wasn't ripped out. Okay, fine. Okay, that's even more abusive. So, well, not more, but so it wasn't ripped out, but he saw a white chick with her head shaved on the side, and he jumped up and told Cassie to do it. And Cassie just did it. Yeah, you're right. Don't pay attention to what they're ignorant. Their mothers didn't teach them empathy. Yeah, but it also says something about them. It says that if somebody gave them the money, they would let somebody violate them. And I'm not making judgments on them. I'm just saying, like, it's sad that, like, whatever life dealt them, they really think that money will bring them so much happiness that they will violate themselves. They don't realize that they're going to spend the rest of their lives trying to use that money. Remember Tina Turner? She, like, that whole thing with Ike and stuff, in a sick way, launched her. And it was her story. And it launched her as superstardom all around the world. And you know that in that, her documentary, like, one of her sons was very, very addicted to drugs because he had witnessed the abuse, so it messed him up. He could never get past it. And Tina said that it wasn't worth it, even with all the money, all the fame. And Tina Turner is like a legend she's a legend in America, but she is a legend overseas, like Mick Jagger, right? And she said that even through everything she's accomplished and all that she's gotten, and she was sitting there being interviewed in this beautiful space looking over, like most people's dreams. And she said it wasn't worth it. None of it was worth it. She would give it all back, never to have been hit, because the psychological damage, it's still there, and she never got fixed. Ain't that some mess? And she would give all of it away. It's sad to me that people's lives are so hard. And that is something from our late stage capitalism. It's sad to me in late stage capitalism that people's lives are so hard that they really would take a deal with the devil because it looks like a way out. But I promise you, just like Cassie found, it's not a way out. And again, I am in no way, shape, or form shading, blaming, or doing anything else to Cassie. I used to volunteer at a center for women that were abused. I understand. You got to look at women that are abused, the same way you look at hostages. You have to look at hostages, and then that day that, like, the doors open, right? And it's like, well, why didn't you run? Because I've been, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a deep psychological thing, but if the way everybody thought existed, there would be no traffic stopping. That, you know, that stuff that's going on everywhere. If people really could not be broken down to the white meat mentally through certain ritual things, all this stuff wouldn't exist. Like, this exists. It's a real thing. Everybody that is a psychologist, everybody that is educated, everybody will tell you. And I know people like to be like, oh, it'll never be me. Yeah, I pray it won't. But if somebody does, it's almost like a drug addiction. It's not a moral failing. People start doing drugs because they want to have fun. But a certain amount of people actually, like, get caught up in it, and then their whole lives are ruined. You like to turn that into a personality. People might get into relationships because they're like, okay, my record deal, and I want to be happy, and I want to do this, and maybe he does care about me, and you convince yourself. It doesn't matter what shiny object caught your eye. Once you're in the belly of the beast, you can't escape. You know? Somebody said, you think the biggest player in the game believes in me, believes I can make it as an artist? Yeah, exactly. 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 And you know what? I do want to say this as a woman. I think every woman over the age of 18, hopefully, has had an encounter where someone that was influential and powerful took an interest in them. They wanted to help them with their college courses. They wanted to help them get this internship. They wanted to help. Like, they're offering help, and they believe in you, and you're so smart, and you're this and that. And then you turn around and find out this mofo is just trying to sleep with you. Men wonder why women are so ignorant to men, because, like, at a young age, that's a way, oddly enough, that a lot of abusive men come in. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. But in that way that they exploit your naivety. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of men, most of them related to me, have helped me in my life. But there have been a few men, 2 men, actually, that weren't related to me, that actually really, really helped me without asking for anything in return or wanting anything in return. One Well, it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, but outside of that, it's been like whatever. So exactly, Lilo, you're like, oh my God, the biggest player in the game believes in me, believes I can make it as an artist, musician, whatever. You get on that hook thinking that God's the small around you. Exactly. Because what was Cassie supposed to do? No, I suck. He couldn't possibly think I'm a good artist. That would be self-defeating. At the end of the day, that's how these controlling people are, And the thing is, you have to balance it with, you can't be too paranoid. Because there are some people where it's like, no, I'll do it myself. Okay, well, calm down. Like, is he trying to, like, whatever? The thing is, as a woman, you always have to be vigilant because, like, 7 times out of 10, they trying it, But you need to keep an open mind, an open heart, but also a very clear, focused mind. You got to be on it to recognize the 3 out of 10 people that genuinely do believe in your gifts and they're just trying to further along your career. The same they will do it to a guy because there are like mentors. But 7 out of 10 of those mofos are trying to hit, and you got to always be on it. It's exhausting being a woman sometimes. I mean, it's fun. I don't want to be a man, but it's exhausting being a woman sometimes, That'll, thank you so much. That'll, oh, what a beautiful picture. You are gorgeous, mama. Thank you so much. Is it That'll or Thato? Y'all know my reading comprehension. Thato. Aw. Somebody says, I run from industry men. They have so many different sides and literally switch personalities. Yo, I'm glad. I mean, I know my boyfriend can't stand it, but I'm glad I can't sing because I probably would have tried to get in there, right? I would have been like, make me sweat, make me hot, right? I can't sing worth anything, but I will say that like the music industry seems like a dark, dark place. But then again, look at the film industry. Look what just happened in corporations. I think it's just power, and people like to yield that power. And some people genuinely do have a good heart. But there's a lot of people, it's like PE teachers, right? Most PE teachers are like really nice and fun. They're the cool teachers. But then there's those mofos that are trying to ask you out for dinner, or they're like, walking into like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. He trapped her at 17. She knew nothing about life fresh off fire. I think she was 19, but to me, I honestly think that nobody even has an ounce of sense until they're 25, 26. I think 25, 26 is what most people in my mind, what they would look at a 16-year-old. I think you are just beginning to understand the way the world works, I think people that say, oh my God, you're 18, you're grown. 18 is not grown. And if we look back to when we left our parents' house at 18, we look grown. We thought we were grown. We even felt, when you're 18, can't nobody tell you you don't know the way this world works, right? You don't want to hear nothing. But when you get older, you realize, yo, I was an MFM baby. You were just a baby, It's just crazy. Yeah, exactly. Look at Bill Cosby. Model Virginia B. Oh my God, Carisha is almost 30 years younger than Diddy. Wow. Thank you. Please hit the like button. Azalea Banks confirms Cassie's story too. He sent her on a vacation. Wow. Oh, Chime Money, you said Cassie is the one that got away because she definitely was going to Kim Porter her. You might be right. Where's Azalea Banks? Let me go. Hold on before y'all go. I'm going to go to her Instagram and see what she's talking about. Hold on. And then we can, but you all know I got to see what Azalea Banks is. Azalea, I follow her on Insta, but I can never remember what her handle is. Oh, no, that can't be it. Oh, it's Azalea Banks forever. It is. Welcome back, Mama. Azalea Banks, I love a genuine. Hold on. Azalea Banks. Okay, here we go. Azalea Banks said, Okay, the type of things you guys say on Cameo and these crazy requests are okay, no, she's still playing. Oh, she said this is true. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. So this is what Azalea Banks had to say. This is true. One time Diddy blanked her up so bad he sent her on a 3-week vacation to Hawaii just so no one would see or question how her face got like that. Another violent hip-hop homo sapien. This is what mental illness looks like for all of you armchair psychologists. Because you know they always charge calling Azalea Banks crazy. She then went on to say, you know she's going to do a rant tomorrow. But when I'm screaming and shouting you about how effed up these men in this industry are, effing listen to me. Yeah. Yo. Azalea Banks is crazy. I feel, you know what though? I'm really happy. Not that anybody's experiencing abuse, but it makes me smile that Kiki, Cassie, I hope other people come out and share their story, because when we can stop taking the shame away from abuse for women and men or whoever is a victim of abuse, I think that's when we're really going to have to start a breakthrough, because abuse only works if you stay quiet about it, you know, and you only stay quiet about it because they tell you that people are going to blame you, you know. Listen, who's pregnant by Elon? Let's see. Okay, well, hold on. Let's see. Somebody said, I always wondered why she stayed with him for a whole 11 years. Now we know it really wasn't her choice. Wow. Can you imagine an 11 years of every week you going through that mental violation? Somebody said, all they want to do is use and abuse you. The younger and prettier you are, the worse the abuse. I agree with that. I agree with that. You know, nobody ever talks about when you're like beautiful and young. I saw this with a lot of my friends. I mean, like, you know, like certain people, like when they're beautiful, it's like evident. When they're 12 and 13, when everybody else is like, oh, they're just like, you know, they're just always like pretty and they grow up to be like very stunning. When I say you get preyed on, I've seen it with you get preyed on. People look at you as an object. They can be sitting across from you and hate everything about you, your personality, everything. But because you are deemed beautiful, gorgeous, I've seen it happen with my friends. They will have a relationship with you just so they can ride around and show all their friends their trophy. They can't stand you. They hate the sound of your voice, but they need you because a beautiful woman always makes a man, especially an insecure man, look bigger and more successful than he is. And I can only speak to heterosexual relationships. Maybe it's like that with all relationships. It's just a certain personality type. But yo, it's tough. You get preyed on. Those are the people that like get married and have kids and the husband don't give a damn about them and treat them like crap, because at the end of the day, they were nothing but a breeder. They never liked them. They just like the power, because again, just like money is power, beauty is power. And it's not just power for the person that has beauty. The man that can keep a beautiful woman gets possession of her power too. And when it comes to business and friends and social status, it actually does help the man, you know? Yeah. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Somebody said this in the chat. Where is it at? Let's see. Somebody said also, they said, if you're still on live, which I am, I don't know if you noticed the significance of the day this suit was filed. One of you guys said that in the chat, but I missed it. Cassie and her team filed this lawsuit on the day of Kim Porter's death. So I don't know how they could give a bigger signal. Y'all, Puffy about to get criminal charges. If everything in here is true, there's no way that he can't. There's no way that he can't. There is no way he can't. Yeah, Cassie's mom called the police. See, this is my issue with Jaguar, right? Pisces lady said Jaguar was on Storm Maroon's live a few minutes ago and said Cassie and Kim met up right before her death. Secret meeting. This is my thing with Jaguar Ray. I'm not saying that she's not credible. I haven't watched her enough to say. If you guys think she is or isn't, that's your own choice. But that seems a little bit too on the nose, doesn't it? But then again, I never thought I'd be reading this order. So you know what? Let go and let have. Said it never tried to do that with Nikki when she first did Good Morning Remix and she was getting hot. He was her manager, making it look like a relationship. Yeah, people get harassed. You get harassed from the time you're 18 to 22, 23. If you are not a flaming, these men will eat you up and chew you out. Mamas, I tell all this because girls that are close to their dads, your dad will raise you to be a savage. My dad had me ripping men's hearts out and throwing them in a pile. Like I did not care. Because you almost have to say, listen, it's a jungle out there, Tisa. You either it's a jungle. Don't be what? They were crying. Man, hang up. What? They said they hurt them. Hang up. My dad raised me to feel I was naturally, most women are empathetic, but he raised me to skip past the guilt gene. You know, when you feel guilty, like I feel bad, he likes me. He raised me to skip past the guilt gene because he let me see at an early age, and not in a, oh, you can't trust anyone, but in a realist way, like they don't, like, what are you talking about? Do they love you? Or do they want something from you? Why should you feel guilty because somebody wants something? Somebody wants your most prized possession, and you're like, no. But the women that are raised to be very submissive and following, I'll just be a good girl. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Just hear me out. I'm not talking trash. Not a pick me, but just like meant to be like, no, I'm gonna like every day just bless another morning and it's okay and blah, 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 blah. Not a pick me because that's insidious, but like, oh, always be happy, always be chipper, always be his peace. When you're 18 or 22, and if you are a good looking woman, they will eat you up and spit you and then laugh about it and then call you a dummy. I wish we could raise like women different, that when you're 18, you raise each woman to be like, you are walking around with a treasure chest on your back full of gold, diamonds, rubies, jewelry. And there's going to be a lot of con artists, tricksters, people doing shenanigans, trying to get some of those precious, one of a type, rare jewels. And that's the way my dad taught me. And imagine now you got mofos with a microphone making it seem like you carrying around fake Halloween gold, trying to get somebody to wear it. Please wear my fake gold. The fact that things have changed so much between my dad's generation and this generation, those podcast bros, one day they're going to have to pay for their crimes against humanity. I'm telling you, one day. Listen. Where else are we? I don't know if Diddy will ever marry Young Miami. I mean, she's beautiful enough. She's talented enough. They'll make pretty babies. But would Young Miami want to marry Diddy knowing all this? That's the question. That's the question. Like, you know? Listen. Yeah. And Cassie broke up with him in September 2018. 1 month. I don't know. You know what, Genesis? I would love to do a live with Cassie and her family, but I am telling y'all right now, this ain't no Darius Jackson mess. Cassie has one of the most powerful, influential, knowledgeable, high-powered attorneys that have taken down giants of industry. He took down Harvey Weinstein. He represented the head of the International Monetary Fund. Cassie ain't coming on YouTube. Cassie might be on Good Morning America. I don't know. Cassie might be broadcasting from the side of the moon. When I say she got hooked in to some power, money, leverage, that's how deep this case is. The fact that he is looking at RICO, he is looking at right? He is looking at the things that she is accusing him of. He's looking at criminal charges. Puffy's an idiot. Puffy is an idiot. Puffy's an idiot. Kim supposedly passed from pneumonia. And let me just be serious. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that Puffy had anything to do, but Google, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. You know, there's a lot. There are a lot. Yo, wow. Yeah, listen, the media is going crazy. I know Keke Palmer is happy. I know Darius Jackson is mad because Keke Palmer's with Laura Wasser. Baby, she ain't get Wigmore, but baby, she got Laura Wasser. And Laura Wasser knows how. I know, and Darius, already he's been blacklisted. The only people he could get was DJ Academics, right? Oh, Cassie, thank God. Anyway, y'all, listen. Thank you for joining me for live. I'm going to do some investigation, find out some more tea. People have been texting me that have gone to some of the parties, done this, done that. You know, I'm going to try to see if I can find someone that went to an FO. You guys, listen. Tune in tomorrow. You know, I'm going to drop a bunch of videos. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. I really, really, really appreciate it. If I can get the super chats up here, maybe I can thank everybody that gave me a super chat. If I can ascertain this information. No, I can't. Okay. Okay, so no, wait, top chats. No. Oh, yes. So really quick before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Rim. Thank you to Helen. Thank you to Tina Marie. Also, Tina Marie. Oh, Helen. Say Gilly. This was your first time on my super chat on the live. You're super chatting me on the live stream. Thank you. Thank you to Cliff. You were also the first time you super chatted me. Thank you, Rim. Thank you, Ross Seven Galley. Thank you, Gathering to Felicia, Mr. Chalakla. Wait, I'm sorry, Mr. Shalakai, Mr. Shalakai. Is that good? Anyway, thanks. Sending love, right? YM Droid, Rim again, Trina Love, Master Psychic Rachel. Thank you so much for super chatting me for the first time. Thank you, Manade. Thank you, M Flowers. Am I saying this right? Muahanate. Shut up. I know y'all laughing at me. M Flowers. Thank you, Dana Burks. Thank you, Tom Collins. Thank you, B, for the super chat. Thank you, Pivot Your Health. Thank you, Jamal Johnson. You've been a member for 12 months. Thank you, Bethlehem. Thank you, Tasha Ward. Thank you, Larry Johnson. Linda Dukes. Oh, Linda Dukes, that was your first time super chatting me. Thank you. And also Tasha, that was your Tosha, that was your first time. Thank you, Dr. Tara Bates. Thank you, Deanne Harris, for being your first time also. Trace, thank you. And again, Linda, thank you for the generous second super chat. B, Thattle, you welcome. And Agnes, Mama, I missed you. Thank you so much for the super chat, Agnes. I very, very, very much appreciate you and all that you do. Let me just make sure Agnes didn't leave a message. I miss you, Agnes. Genesis. I missed you some. Wait, there you are, I think. Ah, there you are, Agnes. Thank you so. Oh, I love that profile picture. Look at you. You got the bob going on. It suits you too. I always wanted to get bangs, but every time I have bangs, I look like a third grade teacher that's waiting for her 12-year-old, her boyfriend of 12 years to ask her to marry her, you know, but you are doing the bang justice. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining. I'll talk to y'all later. Make sure you tune in tomorrow and hit that like button on your way out. Bye. Yeah, tomorrow. Well, no, not the day after. Today. I'm ahead of you guys. So it's like I'm ahead of you guys. So yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow for you guys. Today for me. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.